Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
I mean, let me read this to you right out of the gate.
Straight out the gate?
You know, it's a football Friday. Let's do this, okay? 888-957-9570. We'll get to Draymond's comments coming up in a little bit. And yeah, even a little baseball for you today is the brand new general manager of the Giants, Pete Putila, not related to the tendon that we know. He'll join us at about 11:30. Good morning, Twitch and YouTube. Thank you for being here as always. Keep your chat going there. The Xfinity mobile text line for you as well. Richard Sherman last night during that football game. This is a dissertation on how to not fit your play calling to your personnel. The fact that we just saw a design run for Carson Wentz and not yet one for Justin Fields is asinine. And then someone named Sean Payton with a blue check decided to respond to Richard Sherman and said, "Preach into the choir, Rich." Woof.
Wow.
That's from Sean Payton. And I immediately thought of Trey Lance. Because, do you see Justin Fields play football? That's what I think Trey Lance would look like if they didn't let him move and run the ball. That's what he would look like. That's why Kyle Shanahan is looking at everybody in press conferences and acting arrogant and being like, you guys don't understand what you do with a mobile quarterback. When Justin Fields gets out there in the open field, he's magic.
Yeah.
He's fantastic out there. But they don't do it. They don't do it on purpose, not once.
I think Fields, though, is closer to Lamar Jackson, and Trey Lance is closer to Josh Allen in terms of running the football.
Okay.
When I see Justin Fields out there and it's a broken play and he gets outside the pocket, his quickness, his mobility, his juke ability is far greater than Trey Lance. To me, Trey Lance is better with the ball in his hands when it comes to inside the tackles, which is where he got hurt, designed runs. Justin Fields could do that sort of design run stuff, but I don't think that Eberflus is really looking to run his offense that way.
That's my favorite word in sports right now, Eberflus. It sounds like somebody is speaking a different language and telling you that something went wrong. And that's exactly what it is. They're speaking a completely different language with the Chicago Bears. And I think we in some ways, we get ourselves into a little bit of trouble with all these comps. Justin Fields is Lamar Jackson and Trey Lance is Josh Allen, because now people are going to be like, Trey Lance is not Josh Allen. And I know that's not what you're saying. You're talking about just in terms of style. I don't know. I could bring up differences with all of them. From Allen to, if I bring Jalen Hurts into the conversation, people will be like, yeah, but he got a big caboose. He's got big thighs. Yeah, I get it. The point is, I just think if you've got a quarterback who can do stuff in the open field, can run, can make people miss, you use that. The 49ers used it. We've been through the debate. I know, is it running or is it that particular kind of run play, what have you? That's what injured Trey Lance. That was what kept going through my head last night as I'm watching Justin Fields. I go, this is what happens when you have a quarterback who's got beautiful athleticism and you try to tell him to be Tom Brady.
Right.
Because that's what the Bears look like they're doing.
And I think that the 49ers are hoping that Trey Lance could be more like Tom Brady in that he could actually make plays from the pocket. The more you watch Justin Fields, I don't see any real progression or improvement on his ability to be Tom Brady-esque. Now, no one will ever be Tom Brady, and when you have a quarterback as mobile and as athletic as Justin Fields, you don't ever want him to just be in the pocket, but I don't see any of that confidence from Eberflus or from Justin Fields himself to be the kind of quarterback that he needs to be. You have to throw from the pocket some to win in the NFL.
I will say this, though. Every time I watch Justin Fields, there's two other thoughts that go through my head. One of them is, even though Trey Lance's career has gotten off to all of this rocky start, man, I'm really glad that the 49ers didn't pick Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I remember, because that was essentially the debate, even though we got sort of sidetracked on the Mac Jones thing because of all the reports. I have a hard time believing, because of the way that it played out, that the 49ers were behind the scenes going, is it Trey or is it Mac? Is it Trey or is it Mac? Because they're so different. I mean, you're really taking your offense in two totally different directions if that's your thought. But Trey Lance, Justin Fields, I'm sure at one point or another that was a discussion that happened. And even though Trey hasn't shown much yet, thank goodness they did not pick Justin Fields. And then the other thought that pops into my head when you watch the Bears play is, how on earth, monsoon or otherwise, how? I don't even need to finish the sentence. You know what I'm going to say.
Did they lose that game?
How? They're so bad. They are so flipping.
I mean,
you
wow,
watch the Bears play, I go, I don't know how many NFL players are even on this field right now. Roquan Smith, I see you. I mean, you're out there.
David Montgomery, good running back.
Sure, and actually so's his backup. Khalil Herbert, who broke a long one, is a solid running back. I get it. There are players. It's about context and what's around you. But my gosh, like Dante Pettis is running around out there as one of their top 3 receivers. I don't need to tell 49er fans. Right. Dante Pettis is one of their top 3 options in the passing game.
And he might be their number 1 option.
I mean, he caught the touchdown.
Yeah, he makes plays. He had the big play against the Niners that won that game. But, you look at that offense, and it's been this bad for how long in Chicago? That's what continues to amaze me is the Bears have not figured out the quarterback position at all. And, you watch Justin Fields in college, and he was a great player in college. But you look at what he did at Ohio State, and it doesn't really translate to what will happen in the NFL. And that's where you have to give Kyle Shanahan at least the benefit of the doubt, because Trey Lance ran much more of a pro style at North Dakota State. And he was, throwing the ball in his 1 year from the pocket a lot more than Justin Fields was at the FCS. And so you figure those skills, forget the level he played at, but the skills that he showed should translate better to the NFL than Justin Fields.
I could see Justin Fields' career going a certain way, and the comp I'll give right now, because it's way too early to put this on a guy, like I hope for everybody on an individual basis, even though I don't like the teams. I don't want them to do well. I don't like it when guys are college players we love watching, and then they get a whole lot of discussion, and they're famous already when they arrive at the draft. And then within a year, we're like, bust. Believe me, when I was in the food lines at halftime of the Bears 49er game, you should have heard what Bears fans were saying about Justin Fields. I mean, they wanted to drive him to the airport. And so I don't ever root for that. But because he's a Bear, and because they clearly have no clue how to call a play, I could see a path where his career becomes what it seems in this moment Geno Smith's career has been, which is
journeyman.
You're a first-round bust. This didn't work out, but then somewhere along the line, some other team and some other coach is going to get their hands on you, and you're going to go, oh, well, that looks passable. That's talented. Like Justin Fields, a talented guy. Go look at the numbers this year. If you think this is kind of a wonky point, go look at the numbers this year for Geno Smith in Seattle. I know he's played some bad defenses. I know, and I know they didn't put up anything against the 49ers, but then again, nobody has. Like Geno Smith is one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the game this year. There's talent in there.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks need to be around the right play callers. Justin Fields is not. And I still believe that Trey Lance is. It's why I still have a lot of hope for his future.
And that's why the 49ers still have hope for his future.
Yeah.
And that's why the Jimmy Garoppolo story will not most likely involve next year. We said this last year, and here we are. Jimmy Garoppolo is still a part of the tableau. But Trey Lance is going to have a chance to flourish and shine under Kyle Shanahan. The other name that I was thinking about in these terms, Mark, was Teddy Bridgewater, a guy who, he's kind of bounced around. He's been looking for the right spot. Miami, it felt like would be it with Tua hurt, but now he's hurt as well. Miami's on to their third, maybe their fourth-string quarterback, and I defy you to try to remember the name of that. Is it Stinnett?
Was it Reed Sinnett? Was it Reed Sinnett is tracking toward being the backup quarterback for the Dolphins? We were joking before the show.
Yeah.
So first off, two things on the Dolphins situation, and then there's actually a development for the 49ers we want to tell you about 2 minutes away. So the Dolphins are clearly terrified of concussions, and with good reason. Teddy Bridgewater has essentially already been ruled out as the starter for this weekend's game for Miami. They take on Minnesota. We know that Tua has also been ruled out. But Teddy has not been ruled out of playing. He's simply been ruled out of starting. He is still in the concussion protocol, but Bridgewater may get cleared tomorrow, and the Dolphins immediately announced if Teddy's cleared, then he'll be the backup. Because we're still really terrified that you're going to be mad at us about concussions.
Exactly.
So even though he's totally cleared and ready to play, we're still not going to play him because we really are tired of you all getting mad at us.
Right.
That's essentially what they said.
So we'd rather go with Skylar Thompson.
And someone named Reed, who is now, he's the backup to Skylar Thompson for the moment.
Even if Teddy gets healthy, I mean, you may still see Reed Sinnett or Teddy Bridgewater might be the backup or whatnot. But to your point, I mean, Geno Smith, the numbers he's putting up with Seattle, in part, maybe in large part, is because they're always behind and they have to throw it. They don't have a great ground game. But as he's been throwing it, he's done very well this year.
Yeah, and I mean, remember, like they played ahead in that Detroit game and scored 48 points, and they just kept pouring it on. And that Saints game last week, if you watched it, also really, really fun. Geno Smith is he's been a thing, and he has been kind of thrown out by multiple teams to this point in his career, and now suddenly looks like a very passable NFL player. I could see it going that way for Justin Fields. The other Dolphins thing that I wanted to bring up, I joked, like, it's week 6 in the NFL. The Dolphins are my 2022 example as to why I never loved playing the preseason sports radio game win-loss. Because the Dolphins
That's a win.
They're playing the Jets week 5. That's a win.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have Skylar Thompson and Reed Sinnett on your bingo card as what's happening by week 6? We have no clue. The story of an NFL season is always so wild. There's always so much stuff that jumps out at you. Players you've never heard of that become relevant, players who get hurt, and you're already on a third or a fourth string quarterback by week 6. So they're my this year example. I mean, who knows? Like, we're now sitting here. The Niners have won 2 in a row. We think they can compete for the Super Bowl. What's going to happen Sunday? Hopefully nothing.
Right.
That could change this entire story.
I had Miami at 3-2 at this point, just so you know, Mark.
And what are they? Are they 3-2?
They're 3-2.
Okay.
I had them beating New England. They did. I had them losing to Baltimore. They won. I had them losing to Buffalo. They won. I had them beating Cincinnati. They lost. I had them beating the Jets. They lost. But I had them at 3-2.
You had them at 3-2. You nailed it.
But I'm 1-4 on their 3-2.
You nailed it.
And to the Niners' point, I mean, I had them beating Chicago. They didn't. I had them losing to Denver, but good. I thought differently about Denver.
And they kind of did?
I guess. And I also have them beating Atlanta. But the more I think about this game, and we'll get into it as the show goes on, you got me a little bit scared, Mark. You've got me running scared on this Atlanta game.
There is one thing that may start to swing what I've been calling my appropriate or healthy fear of this game in Atlanta. There's one thing that could start to swing that in the other, more normalized direction, and it is this piece of news that, ladies and gentlemen, practice has begun at Greenbrier today for the San Francisco 49ers.
Hello, friends.
And Nick Bosa is practicing.
Okay.
He is on the field practicing. Now, Kyle Madsen also popped his head in here and said something right after Nick Bosa. We got the news that Nick was practicing. And he goes, do you want him to play or not? Because I don't. So it's funny because I get where Kyle's coming from. I always want Nick to play. I want Nick to play, and I want him to be healthy at the end of the game. But does this feel like a roll of the dice if, with his groin injury, you go ahead and play Nick in a game that you think you can go win, even if you're compromised without Nick, and you're putting in jeopardy games that are coming up against the Chiefs, the Rams, potentially even the Chargers? And for reference, George Kittle, groin injury, practiced on Friday and then didn't play a few weeks ago, and then had a full week of practice the following week and did show up and play. So we'll see.
I do want him to play, knowing that he's not going to play every snap. And, maybe you pare back his reps, because normally he's about a 70 or 75% participant on the D-line. None of those guys plays 100% of the snaps. It's just the way they rotate their personnel. So maybe you bring Nick Bosa down to 40 or 50% of the snaps just to try to baby the groin. But if he is good to go, if he's good to make it through a full practice, go ahead and play him, because all these games count the same. And, if you save him for Kansas City, you're not making sure, you're not guaranteeing that he's going to be healthy through that game either.
And you're also not guaranteeing you're going to win that game just because he plays by any stretch. I mean, right now, home game, 49ers, Chiefs. Chiefs would be favored, right?
Yeah, I checked it yesterday.
Where is it right now?
1.5.
Chiefs favored?
Yes.
Yeah.
One and a hook.
And this could change, obviously, each week. It changes based on what we see. Like the Chiefs are playing the Bills this weekend. If the Bills go out and win that thing by 3 touchdowns, which I don't think is going to happen, but if they were, obviously that line could move. But, yeah, the Niners will be a slight underdog in that game, even with Nick Bosa. Here would be my guess on how the Nick thing is going to play out. I think what you're going to see after today is a questionable tag on Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
And the reason they're practicing him today is because they would like the data on how that feels tomorrow. So, Nick, do some practice work today, then go to bed, then wake up tomorrow. Let's assess how you're doing. If there's nothing negative that happens from you practicing, we're probably going to give you the go-ahead to go ahead and play. If there's anything that tightens up or doesn't feel good, you're going to see the 49ers probably come out Sunday morning and say, oh, we're going to test it, well, whatever.
Right.
You'll get the midnight Adam Schefter tweet Saturday night saying Nick Bosa is not expected to play. So just because he's practicing today, I still think this thing is totally up in the air.
But I don't think either way that's going to be a deal breaker, at least for me, in terms of can you beat Atlanta. If you don't have Nick Bosa, you should still be able to beat Atlanta.
Should.
Well, yeah, of course. And you're favored by 5. So basically, the implied odds are to where you're probably, and I'd have to check the actual money line, but you're probably minus 185 on the money line, and Atlanta's probably plus 165, somewhere in there.
I can get that here pretty quickly.
You're almost a 2-1 favorite to win this game. And if you don't have Nick Bosa, if he's declared out of the game, I don't think the point spread moves at all.
The number is at 5.5, and the straight-up win odd is minus 235.
Oh, it's 235 for 5.5. Okay.
To win that game straight up.
So that's almost 5-2 odds.
Yeah. So although I will say at the 5.5, the Falcons are a little bit more, and this is getting into the weeds where people may not understand what I'm saying, but just put it this way. The 5.5 is more pushing toward going to 5 than it is going to 6.
Well, it was 5 yesterday.
Yeah, so it's at 5.5, but more money at the moment is coming in on the Falcons plus 5.5 than it is coming in on the 49ers minus 5.5 is maybe a better way to say it.
I'm really looking forward to this Sunday because it's a no red zone Sunday for the first time all year because you got Niners Falcons in the morning. Then you mentioned Buffalo, Kansas City. Mm-hmm. That's a game you watch every snap. And then Philadelphia, Dallas on the Sunday night spot. It's a no zone. It's a no zone Sunday.
You do your house how you do your house. I'm going to do my house how I do my house. The Red Zone channel always on.
I get that.
We keep it on even during the week.
Will it be
and we
a
just play the
Sunday?
music on Tuesday. Oh, absolutely. It's 2 screens. Yeah. I got the boys this week, and they're never going to, listen, I've tried to teach the boys to be 49er fans, and they are. But they're not going to give up their fantasy team and their Red Zone channel. I was laughing my butt off listening to Bonta and Joe this morning. They had a caller, I forget his name, but they were going through their favorite memories of Falcons 49er games, both good and bad, through the past. And one of these callers brings up the 80-yard touchdown from Matt Ryan to Roddy White to break the 49ers' hearts a few years back. And he goes, man, that was a crazy one because I was sitting there and I'm watching Roddy White run down the sideline and the crowd is crushed. And my boys are all sitting there just, oh, my gosh, and there's booze and there's cussing and everybody is so mad. He goes, well, I didn't want to tell any of them, but I had Matt Ryan and Roddy White on my fantasy team. So I'm watching the Niners' hearts get broken, but I'm thinking, yo, dudes, that's like 30 points for me. and that's how my sons are too. So yes, it'll be a 2-screen Sunday. Red Zone will be on in the corner always.
Well, if you're going to get your heart broken by an opponent, you might as well have it be where you have the quarterback and the receiver in your fantasy.
I usually just bench my dudes when they're playing the 49ers.
Really?
That's what I usually do, unless I don't have another choice, because I hate that.
Even if they're like a top line, like Patrick Mahomes. If you have Mahomes, are you benching Mahomes?
I guess I would do, probably not. There are exceptions.
Okay.
There are exceptions.
Okay.
But, like last
if it's a
week.
borderline RB2 or a wide receiver 3.
Last week, DJ Moore is my WR2. I'm like, hit the bricks. Get on the bench. I'm not starting you against the 49ers.
Well, it's a lot easier, too.
I'm like, Charvarius Ward's going to crush you.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I don't want to have anything to do with that.
That's actually a smart play when you're going against this Niner D. I actually have the Niners D as my D.
Nice job.
In fantasy, it's pretty fun to watch that unit. It's a pretty impressive unit, watching them go out and do their thing.
Speaking of getting ready for the NFL weekend, get at the heart of the NFL every week with the In the Huddle podcast. Former offensive lineman Brian Baldinger, who we know so well here at 95.7 The Game, and NFL insider Jason Lockenford team up with the man who pulls no punches. That's Carl Dukes. They take you around the league, give you the inside scoop on the storylines that matter most, dive deep in the matchups that determine who wins and who loses. New episodes every Tuesday and Thursday, so a new one just came out yesterday. Follow In the Huddle on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, here we go, okay? If you have not heard Draymond Green's post-practice audio from yesterday, you need to hear a lot of it. You need to let it sit. We need your comments on it. We have comments to make. And that is all coming up next. It is 888-957-9570. Your texts go to the Xfinity mobile text line, and your comments on YouTube and Twitch, always read and always welcome. Thanks for being with us this morning. Willard and Dibs, 95.7 The Game.
This Monday, we're live from Chase Center.
Chase is amazing.
Chase is developing its own identity.
Hear exclusive player and front office interviews from 9 till 3.
Out to Curry, lets it fly, 3-ball, left corner pocket.
On your home of the NBA champion, Golden State Warriors. 95.7 The Game.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New gigabit extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Do you think all premium fuels are the same? Well, your engine doesn't. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus helps keep your engine running like new because it's engineered to defend against 4 main engine threats: gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. So next time, choose Shell's most advanced fuel ever. It's fuel for thought. In engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline.
This is your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort. To rock and to roll. Over the hills and bluffs. Go all out or go all in. With 4 stars and rising stars. Now we do more than ever, so you can do as much or as little as you want. It's your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
From
From abortion to inflation, the issues in elections across the country have far-reaching implications for the Bay Area. We're breaking them down on The Home Stretch, Odyssey's new original political podcast. I'm KCBS political reporter Doug Sovereign. Each week, I'll talk with a range of experts to give you a no-fuss 15-minute download of the most pressing issues on this year's ballots. KCBS delivers all news all the time on the Odyssey app. And listen to The Home Stretch on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Locked On Warriors is a daily podcast covering your favorite team, the defending world champion Golden State Warriors. I'm your host, Cyrus Softas, and every Monday through Friday, Locked On Warriors brings you all of the biggest Warriors stories in around 30 minutes. We cover Stephen Curry and the dynasty that is one of the greatest teams in the history of this beautiful game. Listen to the Locked On Warriors podcast every day on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everybody, it's Boomer Esiason here. When a part of your offense isn't firing on all cylinders, it shows. And sometimes the only solution is to replace that part with something new. It's true on a championship team, and it's also true with cars. That's why I love eBay Motors. They have all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them, by the way. And that way you can get the parts that you need to make your car a winner. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Attention, do you suffer from severe fried chicken-related cravings? If so, Kentucky Fried Chicken's $6 two-piece drum and thigh combo may be right for you. The combo contains tasty chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, a flaky biscuit, and an ice-cold drink. Side effects may include more money in your wallet, happiness, and the urge to lick your fingers. Order KFC's two-piece drum and thigh combo in the KFC app for just $6. That's finger-licking good. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Tax extra.
Why spend hours negotiating with a car salesman to get the best price for a vehicle you want to buy? At BMW of Fairfield, we give you our very best, most competitive price right up front. By eliminating the price negotiation process, we create a comfortable environment that helps our guests enjoy an experience that's often hostile and difficult at other dealerships. There is a better way. Experience it for yourself at BMW of Fairfield. One price, one person, 1 hour.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Now that it's autumn, check window and door seals for proper insulation and replace your furnace air filter. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Wildfire is coming. Get set by knowing what to take and where to go. If you need to evacuate, go early to protect your family and community. Wildfire is coming. Do you have a plan? Learn more at readyforwildfire.org.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Okay, it's all sponsored by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises. We'll get you some of the things that Draymond said here in just a second, but first, we need to take a moment.
But first,
hello, Nora, Diana, Spadoni.
Oh, yeah, baby.
She's 8 pounds, 0 ounces, 21 inches. Jade and Joey Spadoni, family with all of us here at 95.7 The Game. We cannot wait to meet Nora. Congratulations. And Mom, great job.
Incredible
Great job.
Yeah.
Great job. It sounds like everybody's happy and healthy. So great way to start our weekend.
And Benny's got a sister.
Yeah, Benny.
Benny's got a sister.
Yeah, Benny and the rest.
Benny's got a sis. You know.
Yeah, a few different options there.
I went there.
Yeah, Benny's got a Benny. From what I know, Benny is going to be an awesome big brother.
Oh yeah.
But Benny having another person to play with around the house, I know maybe that's maybe a year away at least, but that'll be a good thing.
And I'm
that'll
sure
be a good thing
he's
for everybody.
already out there protecting his little sister.
Absolutely.
In case any one of those other newborns tries to
don't you be looking at her the wrong way.
Don't you be checking out my sister.
You stay in your end of the neonatal. Anyway, congratulations to
all
Jade
the Spadonis
and Joey. Then, Nora, Diana Spadoni, 8 pounds, 21 inches. That's a big girl. That's not a small baby.
No, it's a good, beautiful baby.
Yeah, beautiful. So, healthy baby girl has been added to the family. All right.
Congrats to Joey for that paternity leave that he's going to cash in on. He and I were talking about that.
Take your time.
Yeah, exactly.
Take your time.
Take those weeks, Joey.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So 888-957-9570. Would definitely love to know how this hit everybody yesterday. For me, this is now no longer. This isn't about Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole. I just listened to this and I solely thought about Draymond Green. Forget any incident that has happened for a moment and simply think about how this fits with the Warriors. All right? So this is looking forward because all of the things, and I had said to you, the one thing I didn't like about the first press conference was that he got mad about the presence of video.
Right.
And I'm like, look, I get it. He's not wrong, but I'm also thinking just leave that out because it makes it sound like you didn't want people to see what you actually did. And you did this, so you can't blame the presence of video. So outside of that, though, I thought, look, he said what he said. He checked a lot of the boxes. I thought he answered the questions straightforward, and I was optimistic about where this group could take this. And as you know, you and I had a heavy debate the other day with regard to whether there should or shouldn't be a suspension.
Right.
And I accept the Warriors not suspending him because I didn't really see what a suspension was going to do. And that yesterday's comments firmed this up even more for me, which is that if we think that Draymond Green is going to change for anything or anyone, he's not. A suspension's not going to do it. A fine is not going to do it. Like, nothing's going to do it. I don't even think a trade would do it. He'll just be whoever he is defiantly with wherever
at least
he plays
he'd be
next.
elsewhere then.
Yeah, he would be someone else's issue. So the one that I think got everybody going the most is his comment about the word trust. And that has become such a big word because it was used by Steph Curry, because it was used by Steve Kerr. Kevon Looney directly said the statement. He's got a lot of work to do to earn our trust back. And so here comes the word trust. And this is kind of where Draymond took that specific issue.
Everyone says, like, build trust as a team. I don't really quite understand that. You know, what's trust? Is it trust that you're going to make the right play? I think I always make the right play. I mean, to the best of my ability. I don't always make the right play, but to the best of my ability. So is it that? Is it, what is that? I think, you know, what we do have to do is make sure we're together, you know, make sure we're doing the necessary things that it takes to win a championship, make sure we got each other's back. But I think of so many different things when I hear the word trust that I'm not always certain that that is the most fitting word for what people are trying to say. I think it always sounds good and everyone kind of has this idea of what that means. But yet, you know, what does that truly mean? I don't quite know.
This is one of the problems we got going on right now. And I'm not talking about Draymond. I'm talking about the world. It is so easy. It is such a snap reaction. Oh, the media. Here goes the media. And you're blowing things up.
It's you, Mark. It's not just the media. Let's go to Mark in the media.
In the back.
In the back. Yeah, Mark, it's you, Mark, in the media. All your media brethren and sisterin. And sisterin.
Draymond, and I don't know why anybody didn't follow up with this. Damn it, I wish I had been there after practice yesterday.
Let's go to Mark.
Draymond, it was your teammates who brought up the word trust. I don't know where trust comes. It came from Steph.
Right.
In the back. It came from Steve Kerr.
Let's go to Steph on the podium.
And it came from Kevon Looney. Are you saying that in some way what they're saying needs to happen next is inaccurate, or that you're confused? This is the one that even brought me to the party. I wasn't even thinking about Draymond Green press conference.
I didn't even know he was having one.
I knew he was practicing. We knew he was being welcomed back to the team on Thursday.
I trusted that he was going to practice, but I don't even know.
Let's talk about the word trust for a second, Dan Dibley.
Yeah.
What does that really mean?
It means that, the team was practicing and he was going to be back eligible, so I trusted that he would be out there in practice. And the fact that he says, I don't even know, and just the way he's so dismissive over the idea of trust. I mean, to me, the follow-up question would be something pertaining to, I think that what they mean by trust is that they're trusting you to not punch them in the face anymore.
Yeah.
That's what they're trusting. And they're trusting you to not cause this level of a problem, a crisis, the biggest crisis that they've faced. That's what they want to trust. They want to be able to trust you, Draymond, to not create this level of crisis again. So it's not about camaraderie. Camaraderie comes after trust. If you don't have trust, you can't have camaraderie. I trust you and Spadoni and Kyle and Lubman, who's filling in for Spadoni until Spadoni decides that he's sick of his baby.
In December. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's our team. If we don't trust each other, we can't possibly have camaraderie. And that goes for our morning changeover at noon with Guru and Steiny, JD when he fills in, Larry Kruger. The beauty of our station is that we have camaraderie, but that camaraderie only came when we started to trust each other.
Well,
so that's what that means, Draymond.
Exactly. And it came from inside the building. It came from the people that you say and we say we all respect more than anyone in Steph Curry and Steve Kerr. And oh, by the way, Kevon Looney, who Steve Kerr now tells us is the moral compass of your team. The moral compass of your team said you got a lot to do to earn your trust, to earn our trust back. That's what the moral compass of the team said. And you just thumbed your nose at it. And then you start talking about camaraderie when you're the one who took camaraderie into question. I think the team, if I'm Jordan Poole and I'm listening to camaraderie, we had it, and then you hold off and punch me in the face. So how the heck are we supposed to have camaraderie? And now you're going to sit in front of a microphone and say, well, we all got to have each... This man said yesterday we've all got to have each other's backs. What? What did you just say? You need to have each other's back. You're the one who did this. Listen, a lot of us, self-included, have tried to have the Warriors' backs, have Draymond had your back repeatedly in a public space. But you can't say that when you did this. If you want to talk about camaraderie instead of trust, then say, I have a lot of work to do in order to help rebuild the camaraderie that I ruined.
But he won't do that because that takes accountability.
Defiant to the end.
And it takes humility. And this is why, and again, I will agree with you to the degree of, I don't know if a suspension would change Draymond Green. I don't know if Draymond Green even wants to change. Based on what he said yesterday, I don't get the sense that he feels like he has to do anything differently. He sees this incident as a thing, and I think he referred to it as a thing. Yeah, as soon as we get further down the road, this thing won't be an issue anymore. But for me, if you would have suspended him, you instantly would have a level of camaraderie and a level of trust that you don't have with Draymond Green in the building.
Yeah, maybe. I just think what it felt to me like, and there's another one that was a really interesting answer when he was asked about how this affects his future with the Warriors. It felt very much to me like Draymond Green has reached a spot where he is now back to being defiant, he is back to being unapologetic, and he is back to being almost robotic. Like when he says, hey, we've got a job to do and we're going to go do it. He's a professional, I'm a professional, we're going to go play basketball. Well, that's the opposite of camaraderie. That's the opposite of it. That's show up, play 48 minutes, and then we're going to go to our corners. That's the opposite of camaraderie. So again, and I share what Joe Shasky said repeatedly this morning, there were so many comments yesterday that seemed to fly in the face of one another. So you don't get to have this both ways. And the reason this is upsetting to me today is because they're the Golden State Warriors. They're the gold standard of chemistry and dynasty and
camaraderie
and all of the things that they have been for the last 10 years. And I came out of last week's experience and what all of these guys said feeling like, you know what? I think I'm going to bet on them that they can handle this. And then I listened to them yesterday and I went, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Now it feels like the Warriors are stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I do believe that's why Steve Kerr called this the biggest crisis in his history with the Warriors, because the Warriors are sitting here going, okay, we got two choices. Because if Draymond's going to play the defiant teammate, if that's his angle.
Which you had to figure it was going to be. I don't think that caught any of them by surprise.
No, no.
Exactly.
Draymond's defiance never going to... And by the way, that's him.
Do you?
That's him. Not asking Draymond to behave the way anybody else wants him to behave. Draymond, be you. But the Warriors then, with that, have a choice to make, which is we can try to navigate this or we can ship him out. Those are our two choices. And if you ship him out, you're a worse basketball team. And if you keep him, well, you're the real basketball players of San Francisco.
Kind of.
And you're a reality show, and you've got infighting potentially, you've got feelings hurt, you've got trust that needs to be rebuilt, and someone who defiantly says, I don't even know what that means. And now you got to navigate it, and you got 2 more years contractually obligated to the guy, and you are stuck. And if you want to know why it took the Warriors 6 days to come out and have a firm press conference about it, you just got your answer. Because they're like, neither of these answers are good for us.
Have you ever eaten a lemon, Mark?
I have.
And this is
I like to just take a slice and put it in water.
No,
I don't like to eat them.
I'm not talking about lemon and water. I'm
Okay.
talking about opening up a lemon and eating the lemon. This is one of my favorite moments from Quest, my first of my 3 babies. When he was 1.5, he would take a lemon and he would bite into it, and you get that sour face and the shimmy, and then he would it'd be hard to fight through it, and he'd go back to the lemon. He couldn't help but go back to the lemon. And this is what the Warriors had to do. They had to decide that they have to eat this lemon because they know it's a sour taste and they know that it's miserable, but you're going to get some of those good vitamins. And that's kind of what this is with Draymond. You know that you can't win without Draymond. Now, maybe you could. Your best chance to win
Probably not.
is with Draymond Green. But you also know that deep down, you're sick of it. I'm just going to put it bluntly. I'm sick of it. And you don't want Draymond around anymore. So you take these 2 real competing ideas and the overarching thing on top of all of this, we want to win. And if you want to win, the Draymond as a winning player outweighs the nightmare, the ongoing nightmare of having to deal with this guy 24/7.
And this is what so many of you the other day, in my opinion, called enabling. It doesn't mean you're wrong, but it's the hard place the Warriors are stuck. Because you're telling them, well, you're enabling him. But in the very next breath, you're buying tickets and rooting for them to win. You want them to win. That's the decision they made. And it's the power that Draymond knows he has. That's what gets me. Draymond, it's a little bit of an abuse of power.
Completely.
Because you are a great player, and you are needed on this team. But you could also do that in a way that is very open and honest and with your teammates. And now we've reached a spot where even your teammates are like, we're not feeling this, man. And your response was, instead of hearing them and taking one step in your direction, instead of that, your response was, take it or leave it, suckers, $52 million.
Double guns in the air, basically.
I don't care if you flip me off.
Fine.
I don't care. You don't need to do anything for the fans, Draymond. This bugged me yesterday because it felt like you're thumbing your nose at your team.
And Jordan,
that's what it felt like.
And Jordan Poole, basically. And I said it before, and I still remain steadfast in terms of the way this has gone for Jordan Poole. He can forgive Draymond all he wants, but the very fact that the Warriors are enabling Draymond Green, and you laid it out beautifully there, Mark, in terms of why they're doing it. And I've come all the way around to the fact that, for the sake of winning, this is probably the only course they could take. Because if you suspend Draymond Green for X number of games, and I thought 10 was about the number you're looking at, Draymond Green does not come back a changed man.
Draymond worse.
Probably comes back worse. I mean, you see how he's acting now.
Exactly.
And his feet haven't been held to the fire at all. He got 4 days off to make eggs with his son and go to a Mary J. Blige concert. No, I mean, he got fined. Fine. Yep. He got a fine. More money probably than I make in a year, which is nothing to him. But not only did he not show any real contrition, and they even asked him yesterday, what did you learn about yourself in this process? Well, if I grow every day, I learn about myself every day. And if I don't learn about myself each and every day, that means I'm getting worse. There was no sense of self-reflection, humility, any of that reflective tone that a normal person would go through.
I mean, It was pointed out to us earlier today that when he was asked about the lack of a suspension, he used the word we. We all came to the decision that it's not going to be a suspension. And a lot of people went, I'm sorry, excuse me? We came to the decision that there was no suspension? And I'm like, yeah, that's a we. If you don't think that Draymond and his agent, you don't think Clutch was involved in a discussion with regard to Draymond potentially missing ring night, I think you're crazy. Of course this was a we. And that tells you why they didn't suspend him. And you can say that's the Warriors cowering in front of Draymond. But if you suspend him for 10 games, listen to the defiance you heard yesterday. What do you think you would get in 3 weeks if he comes back having missed ring night? It almost like I'd be worried he was out to sabotage the season. Just to stick it to the Warriors.
Right.
Is how I think he would react. He's asked about his future with the team. And then we'll go to the phones. Listen to this.
I don't like to let contract drama linger, especially when it's involving me. Quite frankly, what other people do with their contracts, or if you're going to let a contract situation linger, then you better be damn sure that you're willing to handle all the effects of a contract lingering that it can have on the team. And quite frankly, everybody don't do that. We've seen LeBron James have contract situations. We've seen Steph Curry have contract situation, and they handle it, and they handle it the way it's supposed to be handled. Can't say that for everyone. And so if you're going to let a contract situation linger, you better be ready to deal with what comes with that every single day and the effects that it can have from a day-to-day situation. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And quite frankly, I'm not willing to deal with that every day. So my contract is what it is. I have 2 years left on my deal, including this year. And I am a Golden State Warrior trying to win another championship in this organization. That's what it is for me. That's not something that I'm going to harp on all year.
I mean, I accept anything he's saying about his own contractual situation, but when you go through this and you're asked about the future of the team and you somehow weave your way to ripping Kevin Durant, which is exactly how I heard that.
Yeah.
How'd we get there?
It's what we do.
How'd we get to, hey, Draymond, how does this affect your future? Well, let me hold on. Let me rip Kevin Durant for a second. What?
It's a sociopathic tendency in his behavior. It's extremely antisocial attitudes and behavior that shows a lack of conscience. And he continually, repeatedly shows this behavior. And so we all expect, and you actually made this point last year during one of his blow-ups during the course of the season, and you said, if you're expecting Draymond Green to do anything other than be Draymond Green, you're fooling yourself and you're wasting your time. Yep. And I'm back to that same point again where you punch Jordan Poole in the face. In a normal situation, you would be punished. And even if you weren't punished, you would show such great remorse that you would do everything you could to try to make this thing better. And yet, for me, all he's done really is double down on his behavior and his lack of conscience.
I'm not here for Draymond to do anything for us. Yesterday got me because it sounded like he was turning his back on his team. And that, as a Warrior fan, was a punch to the gut, is what yesterday was. Especially where we're only 3 days removed from his original comments about this, which sounded completely the opposite. Rob and San Bruno, let's get this thing going on Willard and Dibs. Hey, Rob, what are you doing?
Just riding around. I feel like, man, look, the Warriors did this to themselves. Me personally, I don't think Draymond's that great of a basketball player. I just don't think. Maybe he yell and scream and he pump the crowd up, all that, but I'm about put the ball in the hoop. And he got manhandled last year in the finals and throughout the playoffs, getting jumped over and got the ball taken from him. So in my opinion, to me, his perceived greatness needs to be traded ASAP because the Warriors did it to themselves. He's not that great of a player to go out there and do. Steph Curry don't do this. Klay Thompson don't do this. So what is the example you say for why when Wiseman get mad because he's not getting the ball? He gonna pout. Let Camille get mad because he's not getting play time. He gonna pout, act the fool, and they gonna let them get away with that? No, get this dude out of there. Everything he said yesterday is what Draymond is, and y'all keep saying, "Oh, we can't suspend him because he's gonna be worse." What kind of stuff is that?
Well, Rob, I tell you where I don't buy your premise. I hear what you're saying, but I don't buy your premise because Draymond Green's value to this team and his ability as a basketball player has been proven. It may not be the traditional sense. This guy's not a scorer. But, Dibs, what was the numbers you were looking at yesterday? Their record last year with Draymond and their record without him?
I would have to confirm, but I believe it was 37-11, something about that. He played in 48 games.
With him.
Their record was remarkable with him. Now, a lot of that was early in the year. They started 18-2.
Yep.
And I'll confirm, but I believe 37-11, and they wound up 54-28. So they were about 17-17 without him.
500 team without him.
Basically. And I know some of those games you didn't have Steph either. Clay was out.
Sure.
The three of them never played together other than those few seconds until the end of the year. So there was more factors than that. But the overarching thing, there's two things for me. One, you win with Draymond Green, and the even bigger piece is Steph Curry. If Steph Curry had at any point behind the scenes gone to management, gone to Joe Lacob and said, guys, hi, this is Steph.
Yeah.
Let's go to Steph in the back. Guys, I'm done with Draymond.
Yeah.
Draymond is on a bus to Orlando. Sorry, Orlando. Draymond's out of town before, Jordan Poole even hits the ground.
But we get the feeling Steph's saying the opposite.
Exactly.
He's saying, no, we cannot do this without Draymond Green. But even after
yesterday, where Draymond all but mocks Steph's notion of he needs to earn our trust. Trust? You guys use that word. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. I mean, listen, go back to the post-game press conference after the Warriors eliminated the Denver Nuggets in round 1 last year. Nikola Jokic couldn't stop talking about how hard it is to play against Draymond Green, and he's got 6 inches on Draymond Green. He's got 6 inches on him, and he's talking about what an incredible defensive player he is. So I get a lot of what Draymond does is the stuff that we as fans can't see. But his value to the team is obvious in a basketball sense. Sophomore in Pacifica, next up here on Willard and Dibs. Hey, sophomore, what are you doing?
Hey, walking around thinking about this. First of all, thank you guys for the detailed analysis of what Draymond said. That really needs to be done, and you're showing everybody how bad this is and whether it can even be fixed. I really disagree with you about being afraid of how Draymond might react if he was suspended. The Warriors owed it to the community around them, school children, if you get right down to it, to take a firm stand. And if you get in your parents' liquor cabinet a week before prom, you don't go to prom, It's horrible, but that's what happens. People got to learn when they make big mistakes. There's big consequences. The Warriors wimped out, and now they are really stuck.
Well, sophomore, I get that.
He's a sophomore.
There he is. I get that, and I understand the feeling and the showing the young fans an example, but I also get a little uncomfortable whenever we make the comp of, this is what I would do with my kids. He ain't your kid.
True.
And he ain't the Warriors' kid.
And this is not
32-year-old man
at whatever company selling widgets.
This is different.
Pro sports. It is different.
And fans
it hits different, Mark.
Just a little bit.
I had to get that in there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As much as you're sitting here going, they owed it to the community, there's a line of fans around the block going, no, what you owe to the community is to go beat the Mavericks and beat Memphis.
And play in June.
That's what you owe to us also, because I'm paying $1 bajillion to go watch you play. So that's the rock and the hard place they're in. And I'm here to at least acknowledge that wasn't as easy of a decision as a lot of you want to make it. They were stuck. And you can criticize them for it, I understand, but they were stuck. It's all sponsored by Innova International. More of your calls coming up here around the bend. The new GM of the Giants, Pete Putila, is an hour away. Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Brought to you by On Deck Small Business Loans.
When you own a small business, sometimes you need funds fast. So go to OnDeck.com, America's largest online small business lender. OnDeck makes it easy to apply in minutes. Apply for your loan today at OnDeck.com.
Attention, guys. By now, you should know that when it comes to meal enhancement pills, most of these contain the same ingredients that are repackaged over and over again. Why take the same old when you can perform in the bedroom with confidence at the highest level? That's why Noxitril needs to be on your bedstand. If you thought that the little blue pill works well, wait till you try Noxitril. It's like Viagra on steroids. Thousands of men each week have switched from that prescription blue pill to Noxitril. That's because Noxitril is automatic. No need to worry anymore. When it's time to perform, we've You've got this. Explosive results you can count on with no side effects, no stuffy nose. We want every man to try Noxitril, so call now and take advantage of our special free bottle offer today. Oh, and as a reminder, please use the Noxitril dose as directed. It's that strong.
Call right now and get your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 800-486-1608. It's like Viagra on steroids. Improve your sex life with your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 1-800-486-1608.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-200-1966. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-200-1966. That's 800-200-1966 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
Hi, this is George with Left Coast Buyers. We buy properties all over California. If you own a house or an apartment building and want to sell it fast at a great price, call us at 925-434-5000. We can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. We buy properties in any condition, any price range, and can help you in any situation. Do you own a property that is run down and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Are you out of time, money, and energy? Let us help. Are you looking for an easy way to get top dollar for your property and sell on your terms and timeline? Well, call Left Coast Buyers now at 925-434-5000. We can solve any problem. We buy divorce houses, inherited houses. We even buy vacant houses and abandoned houses. Do you have a tenant who hasn't paid rent? Are you behind on property taxes, mortgage payments, or even facing a foreclosure? Even if you're just nervous about capital gains or an upcoming recession, we've seen it all. So if you or someone you know owns a property and needs to sell, call Left Coast Buyers at 925-434-5000. That's 925-434-5000.
Score big with Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with the game-changing speed of supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers the field and then some. And blocks billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you protected at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
Get a cash offer for your car, truck, or SUV today at your local Bay Area Chevy dealers. Selling has never been easier. Just bring it into a Bay Area Chevy dealer, get a free appraisal, and we'll make you a cash offer on the spot with no obligation to buy. We buy any make or model, paid off or not. Find your local Chevy dealer at BayAreaChevroletDealers.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
What's your retirement look like? With Fidelity Income Planning, a dedicated advisor can help you create a flexible income strategy to grow and protect your wealth so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
95.7 The Game has your tickets to see The Who, October 24th at the SAP Center. For your shot to win, head to our contest page at 957thegame.com.
Yeah, no Jordan Poole.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Because I can't hear me. There you go. Let's do the show.
Hello. Hello. It'd be fun to blame Spadoni for that, but he's being a daddy.
Yeah, exactly. He's busy. That's actually kind of the dad right after you have the baby. Like, it's a very unique moment. Like, what do? You stare at the baby, go back to mom. She's like recovering. What can I do for you? Nothing. You did this to me.
Totally,
right?
dude.
You go back to the baby. You're looking at nurses and doctors. And you're like, I don't know. They're just gonna go get a snack. Like, like, what do you do?
It's so funny because I went and got a snack after a couple hours go by. It's like, all right, now what?
Come back, baby's gone. They wheeled him out. Went go and do go do something.
Yeah,
give
they
the
don't
baby
do that anymore.
First bath? No, they would take first bath or
they do it all in the room now.
Well, depends.
Yeah, if the baby's healthy, they keep him or her with you the whole time. It's like, man, would you mind taking this thing for a little while? I can use an hour off here. I'm going to hit balls.
A little break.
Totally.
Well, actually, and I bet now that Spadone is a second-time dad, I remember what the role is once that baby's born and you have other kids. You go take care of the other kid.
Exactly.
Get the hell out of here and go take care of Benny. We got this here at the hospital. So whatever the Spadone family is doing, man, we're thinking about y'all. So, okay, a few things to get through. I want to get back to the phones. I want to read a text message that just came through from a very good friend of mine who has quite a basketball background, and he thinks we're both nuts. Although I responded, and I'm hopeful that now he doesn't think we're as nuts. But before we do any of that, I want to read this from Matt Mayoko with regard to Nick Bosa on the practice field for the 49ers today. He is, if you are just joining us, practicing. However, Mayoko writes, Bosa back on the field, but it looked as if he was taking part in only limited individual work. This does not necessarily bode well for him playing Sunday against Falcons.
Okay, well, then rest up, get ready for Kansas City is the way that has to go. And they've got depth in the D-line. We'll get into this more next hour as we unveil our picks for Week 6. You already got a win yesterday. I took an L with my Chicago Bears. That one hurt.
Yeah, you took the L, but you'll bounce back.
Last night I took an L.
Yes, you did. So funny. I hate this, and I blamed Kyle for this. And I texted him, and I blamed him for this. When I went to that Chicago 49er game opening week, and I get down on the ground at the airport, and I get my bag. You have multiple ways to get downtown. We could Uber, but it was a Friday afternoon, a lot of traffic, and everyone's like, it's going to take you an hour to take an Uber. You might as well take the L.
Yeah.
And the L is like $5, and the Uber's going to be like $70. So I'm like, I'm taking the L. And I get on the L, and it just gets in my head. I'm like, tonight I took the L, and tomorrow bounced back. Like it was in my head for 45 minutes, and I blame you, Kyle. I blame you because you're Captain Pun, and my mind wouldn't have gone there if it hadn't have been for being around you so much.
Okay, well, if you were actually around me so much, Mark, you would know that I don't like Big Sean, and that song would not have come into your head.
No, yes, it would. Yeah, no, wrong, because it's the whole idea of whenever something happens in life, your mind goes to
Or is
weird...
that 21 Savage?
Yeah,
either way, I don't like either one.
Whatever. It's just all about puns and every single thing that's like, oh, we could change the words here and make it this or that or the other. Anyway, it's your fault. That's the takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all on you.
You don't know Kyle Madsen?
Yes, I do. All right, what about this from my buddy?
Fire Kyle right now.
I think you guys are crazy. The guy, Draymond, lives on the edge emotionally. the way he plays, the way he defends, the way he rebounds, the way he screams. And now you want him to be contrite? It's not his personality. And if you let the air out of the balloon, you may not get it back in. You can't have it both ways. End of story. That's why the Warriors wimped out. Okay.
Wimped out. That's an interesting way to put it.
Well, I responded and said, we're actually saying the same thing. I don't want Draymond to be contrite.
You don't want air out of the balloon?
Totally. No. Listen, I've said this a few times. I want to make sure that I do not come off sounding like I would like Draymond to behave the way I would like him to behave. And this is how you behave. You fold your hands when it's dinner time.
Put your napkin in
your
your
lap.
lap.
In your lap. You fold it this way, okay? You got 2 forks. Use the one on the outside and on the way in. First one's for the salad, then... forget all of that junk, okay? Drink red wine with pasta if you want. I don't give a rip. I don't have any rules here. My point is, I don't need you to be contrite. I need you to hear your teammates. What I think doesn't matter. What they think does. I think that matters. Steph Curry, we don't trust you. Kevon Looney, we don't trust you. Draymond Green, what the hell's trust anyway? That doesn't feel good. And then you're talking about camaraderie. Your words sound like there's none.
There is none right now.
And you're telling me, Draymond, that camaraderie matters. And I'm listening to y'all, and it sounds like there's no camaraderie.
Well, you can see it on the floor, according to Draymond, from other teams. You can see when other teams don't have camaraderie.
Because you can break them, were his words.
When you have a Laker team that won't even huddle together, when Russell Westbrook is not going into a huddle, that is a team that you can clearly see lacks camaraderie. Memphis was a team that had camaraderie last year, and certain teams have camaraderie and then they don't. When the Warriors had D'Angelo Russell, they didn't have that same level of camaraderie. He was a guy who didn't fit. So now you've got Draymond Green, the sole person who has broken the camaraderie, it seems, and you've got his teammates saying, you need to earn our trust back, and this is how you go about attempting to earn the trust, by dismissing the notion of trust out of hand. This is a problem, Mark, and this is why I thought even if you discipline him, you suspend him, you take away ring night, I'm not necessarily thinking that would automatically bring about change in Draymond, but at least in the short term, you would have established camaraderie in that spot.
Absolutely. Yeah. To me, this is nothing to do. That was my bad, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that was my bad. I hit something over here. Anyway,
you still have my trust.
I'll try to earn it back. The caller line right now, the board looks like a who's who of 95-7 the game dignitary callers.
Man,
we got
hitters.
Robin, we got Priest, we got Jonathan. Let's go. Robin in San Francisco here with Willard and Dibs. Hey, Robin, it's Willie and Dibby. What are you doing?
Well, I'm standing here thinking how much I really cannot stand Draymond Green. I never really could stand him. And so I'm going to speak from a parent point of view. I don't think of Draymond Green. First of all, Draymond Green wouldn't be anything if he didn't play for Steve Kerr and his offense and the two greatest shooters. He plays up. He's the point forward. I personally do not believe that anybody in life is not indispensable. And the disease of me, as Pat Riley states, has now taken hold. And I think that the Warriors, they should not let him get away with this. I mean, they should, I'm willing to, lose without him. I don't care. I don't think he is all that the glue. But I do want to share this story with you guys real quick. So my son, I often wonder if I had him, but I did have him because I'm looking at him sometimes and like, boy, this is my child. He told me.
Yep. I get that. Every parent gets that. Go ahead.
He said to me, oh, yeah, if I was Jordan Poole, what did he say? If I was Jordan Poole, I would, he had one coming for me, and I'm going to tell you what this is. I have a friend named Charlene. We've been friends for 25 years. Our kids have grown up together. When they fight, she'll call me, do you know that Martin and Devon are fighting? So I called Devon. I said, Devon, why did you sucker punch Maury while he was driving? He said, oh, he be tripping, Mama. He said, I stole his weed. He know I didn't steal his weed, but I was wrong for sucker punching him, but I owed him one for what he stole on me. And I just looked at him. He said, now, that's Jordan. He said, that is what Jordan Poole, he owed Draymond Green one. I hope that makes sense, you guys.
No, Robin, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for the honest reveal about marijuana thievery
inside
and car punches, which, by the way, if you ever want to hit me, please don't hit me while I'm driving.
Well, how self-serving is that? I'm going to punch the driver and then get in a crash and potentially die?
Are there airbags?
It's the worst place in the world to get someone back. Anyway.
It's a great call, Robin.
A lot of us would like Jordan Poole to want vengeance, and I don't know Jordan Poole. I don't know, and none of us do, what he's really thinking and feeling and what he wants to do next. Okay, because they're in a professional environment, because they are the successful Golden State Warriors franchise that they are, I think they talked through this to a point where that's not what Jordan's looking to do. He's not looking to surprise Draymond with a haymaker at practice. They want to win, and that statement right there is at the base of everything they've done. They want to win, and by the way, so do you.
Right.
Robin's sitting here saying, I'd almost rather they lose, but just get rid of this guy. Robin, if you feel that way, you're an outlier. Most people want the team to win.
But I wonder, Mark, if Steve and Bob didn't sit down and think really hard about, could they win without Draymond Green? What could they be without Draymond Green? Because it's not as easy as, this is not Steph Curry. Okay, if you don't have Steph Curry, then fine, you're not going to win. We know that. Draymond Green, it's not as much of a straight line. Now, I agree
with... Not a straight line, but it's a connection. It's a pretty thick one.
It's a connected line, and there's a thin line between love and hate, as we all know.
Thank you.
I am with Robin, though. I would love to see if Jordan Poole wants to get some get back on Draymond. He's got one coming to him. So, and that you and I went back and forth on Tommy Pham, Jock Peterson, and how vindictive and violent I am in my reactions. If Jordan Poole doesn't want payback, then that's probably better for the chemistry and the mood in the room.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think that's why I think the Warriors were stuck in a rock and a hard place. And then there's another thing that I think the Warriors have probably had to really, really work through in the last 4 or 5 days. And it is the question, I posed it already on the changeover earlier this morning, but if you're just with us now, what is it, and I guarantee you they sat down and asked themselves this, and they probably even went into the legal realm. They probably checked in with lawyers. They certainly checked in with whatever the Warriors' version of HR is. What do we do if this happens again? What are the liabilities? What are our decisions? What are our options? Did you read through his contract? Is there any clause in there? We've got to be ready for something to happen again because things, yes, a lot of them are different than one another, but things keep happening. And now here we are, exactly 1 week removed from this, and Draymond finishes his first practice and almost sounds bothered that he's even being asked any of this. Mm-hmm. It's like, nothing to see here. Well, 48 hours ago, your coach said this is the worst crisis that anyone's ever been through in the organization. And you're telling us, move on.
Nah.
Move on. We
got
nothing. Right. We play basketball. This doesn't add up. So if you're on the side right now of what did you think Draymond was going to do? Warriors want to win. They want to move on. If that's the side you're on, I would respectfully challenge you by saying, have you watched the Warriors' behavior since last week? Not one of them in any form has said to you, this is not a big deal.
Exactly.
We are fine.
They have said that we're going to work through it, and part of that is with Draymond Green at ring night. And this is where, and I'm kind of in that camp, though, Mark, of what did you expect yesterday from the press conference? There's what we hoped he would do, and you and I feel so naive now for even positing this last week, saying, what if Draymond came out and said, I'm seeking help? And I mean, how stupid was it for me to even offer that as a possibility? That was me being hopeful. And I think this is the same vein when we talked earlier this week about what if Draymond grabs the mic and honestly, come on, he's not.
No, he doesn't think he's got anything to apologize for.
Exactly. So even that notion of him saying, Dub Nation, my fault, even doing something that simple is well beyond the pale for Draymond Green.
Okay, here we go.
Let's do it. He's
you
coming
don't
after
know
you.
Jordan Poole, but we do know Priest in Palo Alto. Priest, what are you doing?
Hey, I'm driving around, man, doing a little bit. Hey, but listen, man, I get it. Y'all got images in your head bouncing around about some ideology about what this thing is all about. Okay? But the truth is, these dudes, man, are hardened athletes that's been in this game for a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? They punch a punch. These kids could grow up fighting, man. I'm just saying. Everybody clutching their pearls over a punch. Get over it. This stuff, they let him back in the house. When you put your kid outside or kid outside because he's fighting, and then you let him back in, and you give him his marching orders, and you want him to slay all these dragons for you, right? But you don't want him to make a mistake. When he makes a mistake, we got to get rid of him. Oh, what are we going to do about it? Man, get out of here with that. This is about winning. That's all it's about.
Okay.
Thank you, Priest.
It's a strong call.
That's a great call.
I disagree with most of it.
Yeah, but
and here's why.
Great call, though, in terms of...
Here's why.
They did let him back in the house.
They did. And that is the fairest point that was made there. But I will reiterate, I would like any of you, instead of bringing your opinion to ours, it's a big deal. It's no big deal. It's a big deal. It's no big deal. Instead of doing that, can someone point out to me the one member of the Golden State Warriors and when? Point out to me when anyone not named Draymond looked at any of you and said, we got this. This is no big deal. It happens a lot in the NBA.
Yeah, just a punch, Mark.
Has anyone with the Warriors given you that vibe at any point over the last week? If you can find it, I will change my opinion for you right here in the middle of the show. Guess what? You're not going to find it.
Even Draymond Green hasn't come out and been that dismissive over the thing, as he referred to it.
Not yet.
I guess as it continues to come up, because he will be asked about this repeatedly, and somebody might have been Steiny earlier in the week mentioned every city you go to, there's going to be a question. If Draymond Green has an avail, as we call it in the business, post-game or in between games, this question's coming up.
Well, and stop spotlighting the 8 examples that you keep finding of players who are like, this happened every Tuesday. Because we've got a line of people who are like Kevin Durant yesterday is like, I've never seen this in my life. But you all want to ignore that because Kenny the Jet Smith is like, yeah, man, happened. An X-Man who literally wants to punch everyone he ever encounters in the history of mankind tells you, yeah, this is normal. And you're like, see? No big deal. It's a big deal.
And Priest
They're telling you it's a big deal.
Exactly. And they all didn't grow up fighting, by the way. Steph Curry did not grow up fighting.
Seriously?
He went to Montessori school and was raised as the son of an NBA player. Klay Thompson didn't grow up fighting. I don't know if Kevon Looney grew up fighting.
Klay is on a boat to Tiburon. He's on a boat to Tiburon.
He's fighting the tide, Mark.
Yeah, this happens every day. Clay's like, oh, look, there's a snapper. Like, this is not normal. I really get bugged by this. There is a portion of our world where, and man, maybe this is Draymond's world. I think it was. Maybe this was X-Man's world. And maybe, for some of you listening, this is your world. But if the Warriors are telling you, yeah, this is our world, I'd shut the hell up. That's not what they said.
Right. That's not their culture.
This isn't my opinion. It's theirs.
And this is not, you mentioned them earlier, the Detroit Pistons, the bad boys of the late 80s with Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, and Isaiah, Vinnie Johnson, Joe Dumars, Dennis Rodman, James Edwards. That's a tough team.
Yep.
Now, I don't know how many times they threw hands at practice with Chuck Daly at the helm. It could have been, hey, it's a Tuesday, let's fight. Right. That was 30 years ago.
Tuesday's fight day.
And that was them. This team, this culture,
seriously,
this camaraderie, this group. What do we know about Steve Kerr and Bob Myers? They're sensitive, emotional people. And the culture of this team is one of sensitivity. It's not a culture where you go up and you fight your teammates.
Joe, go to the parade. This bus is going up and down Market Street, and all the players are holding babies.
Did you see Bob Myers when Klay Thompson got hurt?
Yeah.
He wept.
Yeah.
The general manager was disconsolate.
This is not a group that just walks around,
right?
Hauling off, punching each other. That's not the culture there.
The culture.
If anybody has any questions about it, that's not it. Jonathan in San Francisco on Willard and Dibs. Hey, Jonathan, what are you doing?
Just flying like an eagle, listening to 957 a game.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I just want to say to you guys, I got no problem with the pressure of Draymond Green, because you know why? Some dudes need that energy, so I expect nothing less from him. I remember watching an HBO documentary, and it's about two of the greatest producers in the industry of music. And you know what the title of that documentary is? The Defiant One. So for all those people who want Draymond Green to change, I got a song for you. If you don't know Dre by now, if you don't know him, you will never, never, never know him.
Ooh, yeah!
That's a solid 4 for Jonathan. Very good.
I love that he actually played multiple roles in his song as well.
If you don't know Dre.
He was the lead and the backup. That was some stuff.
Only Jonathan in San Francisco, but he is right to that extent. If you don't know Dre by now,
you will never know him.
Right. So, and that's the frustrating part, because they do know Dre by now, and they also know that suspend him or not suspend him, the likelihood of this happening again is the same.
High.
Well, it's the exact same. If you suspend him 20 games, he comes back unchanged. If you don't suspend him and you let him go to ring night, his behavior is unchecked and he remains unchanged.
I don't know how he would come back. My fear is actually the suspension would even make it worse. He would maybe be even more defiant, more upset with the organization.
Sadly, I think you're right.
More ready to haul off and do whatever his own thing is. All right, 888-957-9570, the number. We will continue to take your phone calls. Also, reminder, Pete Putila, the new general manager of the Giants, about 35 minutes away, and the 49er injury report is out, and we will pass that along to you in full. Coming up next, it is Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Is there something really absurd that skeeves you out?
Getting a paper cut on my eyeball.
A fear you can't shake.
I'm going to leak ocular fluid down my cheeks. It's going to go into my mouth and I will perish.
Whatever scares you, I want to talk about it. Join me, Larry Mullins, on my new podcast, Your Weirdest Fears. Listen and subscribe to Your Weirdest Fears on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Kansas City Steak Company, another AmericanEagle.com success story. Started in 1932 as a family-owned butcher shop, today they're a leading distributor of superior all-American steaks delivered right to your door, ready for the grill and your taste buds. When it came to their website, an average site wouldn't do. They chose AmericanEagle.com to take their website to the next level. With a dramatic increase in competition and a softening market demand, they had two challenges: improve their brand presence and message, and produce a positive return. AmericanEagle.com got to work and executed usability studies and detailed audits of site experience, digital assets, and marketing. The result? An integrated digital marketing and customer experience plan, organic traffic increase of 20%, and a long-term roadmap for success. If you love great steaks, go to kansascitysteaks.com for website design, development, and online solutions that bring efficiency and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. If you need a results-driven website, call the team at AmericanEagle.com at 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
95.7 The Game has your tickets to see The Who, October 24th at the SAP Center. For your shot to win, head to our contest page at 957thegame.com.
O'Reilly! Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your vehicle and budget. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with Peak Long Life Universal Pre-Mixed Antifreeze and Coolant. Now just $3.99 after mail-in rebate. Limits apply. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Listen, could Robert change your life?
At the age of 55, I started putting on weight, and I got to the weight of about 210 pounds. Always hungry. The heavier I got, the less energy I had. And about 6 months ago, I started taking the Andro 400, and I started realizing I had more energy. I felt better, and my mind was clearer, and I started losing weight. I went from my max weight was 215, and now I'm down to 176. My waist size has dropped from a 38 to a 32, and I've lost these big love handles that I had on my side, and I just look a lot slimmer.
Since 2004, Andro 400 has helped men lose belly fat, gain energy, and to look and feel their best. Go to andro400.com for more true testimonials, before and after photos, and special discounts. Only available on andro400.com. andro400.com.
If you're a professional builder or designer, here's some good news from Golden State Lumber. Their relationships with Capital Lumber, Cal Cascade, Humboldt Sawmill, and others have led to an increase in lumber inventory. Golden State strives to deliver most materials the next day, if not the same day. Be sure to download the Golden State app, which provides access to hundreds of resources. Find it at goldenstatelumber.com. For 3 generations, Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Gorgeous gaming, stunning streams, unbelievable bandwidth. It's another Lifestyles of Gagillionaires. Meet the AT&T Fiber customers winning at life with hyper-gig speeds. Meet Gagillionaire Terry. While his love of streaming horror movies has him constantly on the edge of his seat, his internet bill won't give him a scare.
Oh, don't go in there. I'm telling you.
Because since Terry upgraded to AT&T Fiber with hyper-gig speeds, he doesn't worry about data caps or equipment fees.
Come on, man. The door's open for a reason.
And best yet, he also doesn't stress about a price increase at 12 months, because with the amazing Gagillionaire lifestyle comes an exquisite sense of tranquility. Most of the time. Live like a Gagillionaire. Get straightforward pricing with AT&T Fiber. Internet that upgrades everything. No data caps, no equipment fees, and no price increase at 12 months.
Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
The following is an attorney advertisement. If you get sidelined by a workplace injury, the workers' compensation attorneys at Boxer and Gerson can help get you back in the game. Our team of skilled attorneys will fight by your side for the treatment and compensation you deserve. We care about justice for injured workers. That's what makes us Northern California's premier workers' comp law firm. Call Boxer and Gerson at 510-345-2341 or visit boxerlaw.com for a free consultation. Boxer and Gerson, your life is worth the fight.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC-FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
If you don't know Dre by now, if you don't know him, you will never, never, never know him.
All the things. That's pro work back there.
That is great.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Hey.
Really good job, gentlemen.
Restaurant quality.
Very good, boys. Very good.
And Jonathan, too. Let's not forget his contribution to what just took place. He was on key.
He was.
He was right on key.
Yeah. I mean,
good.
Got a lot of time out there delivering mail to just, sing to yourself.
Practice.
Yeah. Little Jonathan karaoke out there on the route.
It's like if your job was just to be in the shower all the time where nobody could see you or hear you and just let it rip.
Yeah.
You're in that mail truck just cruising around. Let it rip. Nobody's going to worry about it. All right. It's all sponsored by Fremont Bank. Full service banking, no compromises. We'll get back to the calls here in just a second. And remember, Pete Putila, who just had his 9th birthday, is going to join us at about 11:30. He's the new GM of the Giants. Wait until you hear how incredibly young he is. Xfinity Mobile text line, keep it coming. YouTube, Twitch, we always appreciate you there. Keep that chat coming. We're having some fun over there. But the 49er injury report is out. Are you ready for this? Here we go.
All right.
Listed as out: Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, Emmanuel Mosley, Jimmy Ward, and Trent Williams. No surprises there, quite frankly. Listed as questionable: Tyler Kroft because of the knee, Aaron Banks because of the knee, and Nick Bosa because of the groin. So all of those guys listed as questionable. You may also notice Robbie Gould, not on the injury report at all.
All right.
Good to roll.
Yep.
Robbie Gould will be your kicker coming up Sunday against the Falcons.
Bad news for Sam
Sloman? Was it Sloman?
I was going to say Slayford. I knew that was wrong.
Yeah, it's going to be slow this weekend, man.
Yeah, Sloman to the practice squad, which I don't know as a practice squad kicker if you actually do anything. Oh, we're going to simulate the other team's kicker.
I'd imagine you kick, but for no good reason whatsoever.
Exactly. So
anyway, Sam Sloman was able to get some paychecks this week. So good for Sam. And Robbie Gould will be back. That's good for the 49ers. So I also think it is worth noting, it's really good, even if Nick Bosa doesn't play, it's really good that he's listed as questionable this quickly. Because what that does tell me is that the 49ers do not view this as something super serious or long-term. The fact that they even let him get a limited session in today in practice, the fact that there is seemingly an openness to potentially playing some snaps this weekend against Atlanta, I think helps us understand that he escaped something that might, even if it wasn't going to be an IR thing or whatever, with a groin, with a muscle injury like that, you come out of last week going, dude, you're not going to miss 3 games, are you?
Right.
And maybe he still will, but it doesn't sound like that to me.
It sounds like he's just going to miss this one game and be good to go for the Chiefs.
If that
happens, if it happens that way. I know you were reading a report earlier that he's maybe not expected to play. I think it was Matt Mayoko who had the report via Twitter indicating that it's not expected that he will play, but the fact that he's questionable puts him right at 50-50. They're set to fly to Atlanta today. I believe they're set to land late in the afternoon, early evening, so he'll get a chance tomorrow in the walkthrough, and then Sunday, get him out on the field. It's a 1 o'clock local time game out in Atlanta, 10 o'clock here, so he'll be able to get up and go through the paces and at least see where he is before the game, and maybe he can give it a go, but I would imagine he won't.
The other thing that we'll be watching is the other corner position away from Mooney Ward. Now that Emmanuel Mosley is out with the torn ACL, there's been a lot of question and a lot of eyeballs on what the 49ers are going to do there next. Jason Verrett's name has come up a number of times, but Kyle Shanahan a short time ago said that Verrett, and this bears watching now, not just for this week but beyond, as they tried to ramp Verrett up this week, had some soreness in the knee. So the 49ers shut him back down for the week, plan to restart his practice work again next Wednesday. So they'll try again next week, but it is not going to be Jason Verrett that takes over, at least this week, for Emmanuel Mosley. So that leaves us some form of Sammy Womack and Diamador Lenore and Ambry Thomas, who got the glowing review from D'Amico Ryans of fine.
Oh, that's
this
it,
week.
huh?
Yeah. How's Ambry Thomas look in practice? Well, he looks fine. He's doing fine out there.
That's a problem.
Whoop.
Yeah, definite oop. And I am heartbroken for Jason Verrett, local kid who has had so many injuries.
Oh, my gosh.
And You just hope that he can make it back on the field at some point, but I do not hold my breath when it comes to his availability at all.
Can I just say real quick, I'm mildly surprised he's still trying. I know that 2 ACLs ago, Jason Verrett considered retirement.
Yeah.
And
he was a San Diego guy, right?
Yeah. Gosh, when I was doing the work at the station down there, he was, and it was amazing. I don't know if I've ever seen this before, but somebody who has a major injury, instead of just disappearing from the public eye, he became a weekly guest. And he had in studio.
Wow.
Like he would come to the station every week because what the hell else is he doing?
Yeah.
And the practice facility was right down the street from the radio station. So Verrett would come in every week and talk about Charger football. And so that was when we were only, I think, 1 ACL tear into his career. Now we feel like we're about 53 in.
Exactly.
And it's just unbelievable. I know he's considered retirement. He's worked his way through it. He came back after the first time when it looked bad and then had that just insane Pro Bowl season for the 49ers. So you know he's got it in him. And Shanahan said that earlier this week. Look, if Verrett's healthy, this is a big-time player now. And so that's potentially still out there. But you got to wonder when this guy just going to throw his hands up and be like, I mean,
well, it feels to me like he wants to go out on his own terms. And I haven't heard him say this, but if you are thinking about retiring because you're injured, then you retire. If you don't want to do it again, if you don't want to work your way back, he's worked his way back from, I think, 5 or 6 career-ending type of injuries. So he clearly is a guy who wants to end this whole thing on his terms, and those terms are on the football field. You know, you don't want to retire from football because you can't make it back. You want to retire from football when you decide that you're done.
I mean, I'm looking at the injury history. There's actually a website that's injury history, and let's just put it this way. I have to scroll to get from the top to the bottom.
He's got an Achilles.
I got to scroll. Well, there's been multiple torn ACLs.
3, I think.
Yeah, there's and then there have been multiple, even the more minor ones, hamstring injuries. But yeah, we got a torn ACL in 2016. You've got let's see, he's even had shoulder injuries. Went on IR back in 2017. So again, the most recent torn ACL, September 12th. 2021. So we're 13 months removed from yet another torn ACL. Yeah, Kyle, what do you got?
And the thing that makes it even more difficult for him is in 2020, he played 13 games and was good.
Yeah.
He was like really, really good in 2020. So he tears his ACL in 21, and I think in his mind, it's probably like, man, I've made it back from this before to play 13 games, and I played great. So we're going to try it again.
Yeah.
Really feel for the guy.
Yeah. It is it's a long list. So anyway, but the 49ers are going to try again next week. So they've got some reason to believe that he can still play. But that would be question 1 for Doc Pandia next Wednesday. When you're 13 months removed from a torn ACL and it's not your first torn ACL and you start to practice and you feel soreness, is that normal or is that a red flag? That would be my first question.
Normal would be my take. Not to take from Doc Pandia, but I've been a radio doctor as long as he's been a real doctor.
Kyle, go ahead and cancel Doc Pandia. We've already got the answer.
Yeah, Doc Dibley. And also, by the way, and Doc Pandia will tell you this next Wednesday at 11:30, cleared to play. Thank you, UCSF Health. The hamstring injury is very common when it comes to knee issues because you have to work hard to strengthen your hamstrings while you're unable to use your leg. The hamstrings become weak and vulnerable. You're welcome.
So thank you, and you're welcome.
Should have waited for the thank you.
I mean, usually that's the normal thing, right? It's like it's like the trick or treaters coming before you even put the candy in. You're just like, you're welcome.
Yeah,
you're welcome, kid. Get off my line. John in Richmond. Here with Willard and Dibs. Hey, John, what are you doing?
Hey, guys, not much. So I was thinking, you guys keep saying that Draymond is kind of irreplaceable and the Warriors can't win without him. But I think they've already got a replacement. I think his name is Kevon Looney. I think Looney can do all the things Draymond can do on offense, probably better. Obviously, he's not there on defense.
I mean,
let's not forget, Draymond's declining. So, I think the Warriors could do a lot better than we're giving them credit for.
John, respectfully disagree with just about everything you said. And in fact, I'd flip what you said. You said he's not quite there defensively, but he can do everything Draymond does offensively.
It's the other way around.
I want you to watch Tuesday night. Kevon Looney is not bringing the ball up the floor, quarterbacking, getting everyone to their spots, and delivering passes on a dime to cutting Steph Curry and cutting Klay Thompson. That is not in Kevon Looney's repertoire.
The only thing that Kevon does as well as Draymond on offense is set screens.
Right.
Neither one is really an offensive scoring threat. Kevon Looney, probably a better rebounder right now than Draymond is on both ends of the floor. Defensively, Draymond is still a better defender. Kevon's a good defender, but Draymond can switch 1 through 5.
They're different defenders, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Draymond Green is your point guard. Everyone who talks about Steph Curry as a point guard, I don't see Steph like that. Steph Curry is Steph Curry. He's a point guard and a shooting guard all in once. Draymond Green does the majority of the ball handling.
All of the traditional names, right? It's all positionless basketball in so many cases now. You got centers shooting threes, and you got point guards who don't bring the ball up. So it messes with our sensibilities. But if you mean it in terms of who brings the ball up and gets everybody in their sets, Draymond Green, not Kevon Looney. John in Menlo Park next up on Willard and Dibs. Hey, John, what are you doing?
You guys doing, sir? I just wanted to talk about Draymond and Poole issue, and I do agree with you that Draymond is a big part of the Warriors' success. And we all know that if you're a Warrior fan, you ought to know the importance of this guy. But I noticed that people are not I don't hear people talking about the role Poole played in that whole altercation. He pushed Draymond. And, that's what started the whole thing. And I'm not sure that there's a set of rules to follow after you push somebody. We all react differently to situations. So Draymond is temperamental. We all know that. But Poole, if he hadn't pushed Draymond, we would not be sitting here talking about this situation here.
Yeah, but John, it all started for me when Draymond got in his face. That was really the first aggressive incident in all of this. You get in his face, then you get pushed, and then you fire off the right hand. Getting in someone's face is a 3 on the inflammatory scale. The get off of me, push away is I'll even say it's a 5 on the inflammatory scale. I think it's actually closer to a 4. Leading with the straight right hand where you come out of your shoes.
It's an 11.
It goes to 11.
I mean, I also, respectfully, John, you're able to have your opinion. I think this is the portion of the conversation we've all already had. Okay? I really, personally, I don't want to go backwards and do the whose fault is it. Like, we've had a week now to deal with the video and what we all think about this. My reaction today is based on what Draymond said yesterday and the fact that it feels to me like he's thumbing his nose at his team. Okay? This is not about how we want him to behave. It's not even about the punch that happened last week. If you're just joining us, it is this, okay? Draymond Green had practice yesterday, back with the team for the first time, and after Steph Curry and Steve Kerr and Kevon Looney all came to the microphone last week and stated in different ways that this is about trust and that Draymond needs to regain our trust. They all said that. Then Draymond countered yesterday with this.
Everyone says, build trust as a team. I don't really quite understand that. What's trust? Is it trust that you're going to make the right play? I think I always make the right play. I mean, to the best of my ability. I don't always make the right play, but to the best of my ability. So is it that? Is it, what is that? I think, what we do have to do is make sure we're together, make sure we're doing the necessary things that it takes to win a championship, make sure we got each other's back. But I think of so many different things when I hear the word trust that I'm not always certain that that is the most fitting word for what people are trying to say. I think it always sounds good and everyone kind of has this idea of what that means. But yet, what does that truly mean? I don't quite know.
So I think we can explain it to you, but more importantly, stop with everyone's talking about trust. No, Steph is talking about trust. Steve Kerr is talking about trust. Kevon Looney is talking about trust, and you are responding by saying that doesn't matter. What matters is that we're all together. I'm sorry, who is it that's challenged the Warriors' togetherness? You don't get to come out today and be like, we need to stay together. Can you imagine this? Okay, everybody loves to do a comp. If this were my family, if this were my work, all right, okay, fine. For once, go there.
Oh, we're going to play this now?
Go there.
I love it.
All right, okay? You're in your family, all right? Let me come up with one bad comp, all right? You got an abusive dad, okay?
Man, sorry, Dwayne, rest in peace.
Dad is throwing haymakers and just screaming F-bombs at young children and a doting spouse, okay? And then after another drunk episode, here comes Dad to sit everybody down on the couch and go, all right, gang, we need to stick together. Hey, bleep you, pal.
Wow, so close to Father's Day.
Is going to be your response. So this is, I keep saying this has nothing to do with how I want Draymond to act. He's him. And I've been accepting of that for the whole decade. And I got the receipts, to borrow their term. So this isn't that. This is my read that it sounds like you just looked at the most important teammates on this team and went,
you're full of it.
Your opinion stinks.
And I wonder what trust means to Draymond, because he talked about that word and he poo-poos the notion of trust as it pertains to this incident and this conversation. I wonder what trust means to him. What's his definition of trust as it pertains to working together with his team? Because, they trust him to make the right play, and I always make the right play within the best of my ability, which is accurate. He's out there trying to make the best play. He's trusted to do that. That's absolutely part of the trust that goes with Draymond Green. We trust you to be the primary ball handler and make the right play to the best of your ability. That is true. But we also trust you to comport yourself in a manner that does not make us wonder if we're going to get punched in the face.
I just think that there are questions here that need to be asked, but I'm not going to come down on anybody in the room because I get it. They're really hard to ask. There's a lot that goes on here. The interview can go south. These are beat writers who have to be around this team every single day. You don't want to come off as combative, but like the question you asked in the changeover today never got asked. Why did you, there's no audio. You're right. Why did you hit him? And by the way, this whole trust response, okay, Draymond, you want someone to explain it to you? We can't. We're just reporters. But what about this? Forget basketball. Do you think your teammates trust you as a person right now? I'd love to hear that answer. And maybe he's like, yeah, they've told me they do. Well, then great. Then we actually maybe don't have the problem here that it sounds like we do. But all we're allowed to do here from the outside is hear what you guys say. And Steph and Steve and Kevon are saying one thing and you're saying the opposite. But then you're saying we got to stick together. Well, you don't sound together.
Right.
At all.
And you're not together.
So,
you've been gone for 4 days because you couldn't be around the team because you punched your teammate in the face. And because you did that and the video leaked and the head coach called it the biggest crisis they've had since they've been here, because you created this biggest crisis. If he gets in Jordan Poole's face and Jordan Poole pushes him away and Draymond Green pushes him back and then they get into a pushing contest, it's pushy, shovey, pushy. None of this happens. It's because you balled up your right hand and you came out of your shoes and you tried to take his face off. That's why there's no camaraderie. That's why you're not all together, because you had to take a time out.
Because they don't trust you.
Right.
So that's what we're talking about.
Well, I don't even know what that word means, Mark.
Exactly. Timothy in San Jose here on Willard and Dibs. Hey, Timothy, what are you doing?
I'm just sitting in the car right now and just listening to a great show.
Thanks, man.
Hey, so I just think the Warriors are being hypocritical, because honestly, besides that, if there was no video, we wouldn't be talking about it still. We'll probably be talking about some of it, but it's like when the video came out, that's when they had to try to do something. When it wasn't out, they were like, okay, they just had an altercation. So I think it's just very hypocritical of them to switch it from not doing anything to try to do something to having Draymond trust, which I don't understand how he does not understand that, because all the other altercations he's been in, what that means as far as them trusting him in the playoffs and heated situations, whatever. But yeah, I just think they're being hypocritical in this.
Well, Timothy, that's an interesting response, I think, because actually it seems to me they have not reversed course, and they've been criticized for it. But I think they've been incredibly consistent. They came out and said, we're handling this internally, and then they sat around for 5 days after the presence of video and sort of came out and said, we're still handling this internally. There's a fine. We're not telling you what it is, and we're not suspending him, and we're going to deal with this. That feels very consistent. You may not like it.
Yeah, and I don't.
And I totally get that. Yeah. But I don't think there's been anything inconsistent with what the Warriors have said from the beginning.
I agree with that part of it, and you made a great point in terms of had they come out after the video leaked and done something different, especially dramatically different, then you could look at a hypocrisy or an inconsistency. And you spoke to it from Jordan Poole's side, which is, oh, now you're going to do it?
Right.
Now you're going to suspend him for 10? Now that the video's leaked? Where was this before when you all knew I got punched in the face?
This is the old Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, now you love me.
Right.
Oh, now you need me. Okay.
So I think they have been consistent.
Yeah.
I disagree with what they've done, and we've been over this a bazillion times. And, I'm open to what they've done and certainly to your opinion of it and many other people. This is really kind of splits people right down the middle. Some people, there's the no big deal. I'm not saying you're a no big deal camp, but there's the no big deal camp. There's the it's a big deal, but don't suspend him. There's the it's a big deal, suspend him camp. And then there's the it's a huge deal, get rid of him camp.
Right.
Four different camps, Mark. A lot of camping.
Yeah, and I wonder if some of the Warriors themselves are in different camps on this, because, again, that's kind of what it feels like. Pete Putila, the GM of the Giants, who just joined the squad, is going to join us here in just a few minutes. Napa Chef next up on Willard and Dibs. Hey, Chef, what are you doing?
He's pulling up to the hospital to go visit my baby in the NICU.
Oh, congrats is everything going all right? Congrats.
Yeah, she's getting bigger, hopefully coming home soon.
Okay, beautiful.
Nice.
Wanted to talk about Draymond's reaction to Juwan Howard punching the Wisconsin coach.
Okay.
Yeah, refresh me. How did he react? With applause?
So he hates everything Michigan, but he respected that Juwan Howard punched the coach because he grabbed his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on video. What happened to Juwan Howard? Suspended for 5 games or so, and everything swept under the rug. So it is some insight onto Draymond Green's perspective on how these things are handled.
I don't disagree with you at all, Napa Chef. I also, though, don't find that to be surprising at all. You know what I mean? Like, we know who Draymond is. You know, you don't know Jordan Poole, but you do know Draymond Green. Look, he's been around for a decade. We know Draymond. Draymond is a line pusher. Draymond is defiant. And these are all of the things that in many ways have made him a great basketball player out of the second round. So we've all understood it, I think. We have all accepted it through the years. But this pushes the line further than anything ever has, per Steve Kerr. And what concerns me here is not, if you're asking him to change, he's not. I understand that. But I would have thought that, let's just take Steph, for example. I would have thought that Steph had Draymond's ear. I don't think we do. I don't think you fans do. I don't even think Steve Kerr does a lot of the time.
Myers, yeah.
I would have thought Steph had his ear. So when Steph comes out publicly and says there's a trust issue, and you respond by going, I don't even know what that is. Now I'm concerned.
Disrespecting Wardell.
Now I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I think that Steph holds the biggest hand at the table in terms of Draymond's future. If Steph was really done with Draymond Green, I think Draymond Green's time here, it ends.
Pete Putila is the brand new GM of the San Francisco Giants. What kind of offseason does he expect? This player development system that he created in Houston that has worked so well, what the hell is it? And how do you get a job like that at age 33? All of these questions coming up in moments with the new Giants GM on Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Blink 182 is back. June 22nd, 2023 at the SAP Center. And 95.7 The Game has your shot at tickets. For your chance to win, head to 957thegame.com/contests.
Attention, guys. By now, you should know that when it comes to male enhancement pills, most of these contain the same ingredients that are repackaged over and over again. Why take the same old when you can perform in the bedroom with confidence at the highest level? That's why Noxitril needs to be on your bedstand. If you thought that the little blue pill works well, wait till you try Noxitril. It's like Viagra on steroids. Thousands of men each week have switched from that prescription blue pill to Noxitril. That's because Noxitril is automatic. No need to worry anymore. When it's time to perform, we've We've got this. Explosive results you can count on with no side effects, no stuffy nose. We want every man to try Noxitril, so call now and take advantage of our special free bottle offer today. Oh, and as a reminder, please use the Noxitril dose as directed. It's that strong.
Call right now and get your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 800-486-1608. It's like Viagra on steroids. Improve your sex life with your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 1-800-486-1608.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-200-1966. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
Don't waste your time trying to sell your old car. Donate it to Cars for Kids. It's the easiest and fastest way to donate your car and get a tax deduction. Donate online at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your car today.
From abortion to inflation, the issues in elections across the country have far-reaching implications for the Bay Area. We're breaking them down on The Home Stretch, Odyssey's new original political podcast. I'm KCBS political reporter Doug Sovereign. Each week, I'll talk with a range of experts to give you a no-fuss 15-minute download of the most pressing issues on this year's ballots. KCBS delivers all news all the time on the Odyssey app. And listen to The Home Stretch on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
Score big with Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with the game-changing speed of supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers the field and then some. And blocks billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you protected at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
Get a cash offer for your car, truck, or SUV today at your local Bay Area Chevy dealers. Selling has never been easier. Just bring it into a Bay Area Chevy dealer, get a free appraisal, and we'll make you a cash offer on the spot with no obligation to buy. We buy any make or model, paid off or not. Find your local Chevy dealer at BayAreaChevroletDealers.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's. So thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code JOY at checkout. That's harrys.com, code JOY. Enjoy!
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
All right, excited to do this, and we've got our picks coming up for Week 6 in a little bit. Steiny and Goo. Is Goo back? JD,
yes.
What do we got? Goo back? All
Goo
right.
back.
Steiny and Goo looming here in less than a half hour. But excited to have this conversation here on Willard and Dibs with the brand new general manager of the San Francisco Giants, Pete Putila, who joins from the Houston Astros. Pete, welcome to the Bay Area. How you doing?
Great, Mark. Thanks for having me this morning. I'm sitting in my office here at Oracle. Flew out a few days ago, so digging into everything, but really excited about the opportunity.
We're excited to talk with you. How on earth did you do this by age 33? What the hell are you doing,
Seriously.
Pete? What's going on over there?
I've been very fortunate. I've been around a lot of good people over the years. Got to learn from them. So, yeah, just very, very fortunate, I think, to be surrounded by a lot of people I could learn from.
So welcome to the Bay, and now get to work is probably the way that goes. And so when you start to, when you start to roll up your sleeves, right, in a new organization, where do you begin? Do you start going through every player that you already have and looking at other players that are out there? It's got to feel kind of daunting, right, to take on a new organization like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do. I think it all comes down to, having a plan going in terms of, what to do with all those conversations and highlighting, obviously, sort of the classic SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and then trying to prioritize what are the things that we want to do as an organization with regard to, our resources. And, I have certain ideas coming in, and, I think the staff here is doing great work and doing some things that maybe we weren't doing in Houston and vice versa. So I think just a ton of conversations, with coaches, players, staff, just to get a feel for what is done here and, what could we add on to make things even better. And then, like you said, digging into all of the players internally, externally. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but, it's a lot of fun, and it's why I do the job. So I'm really excited about being with an organization so invested in the team.
Well, Pete, I would love to hear more about that because again, with the Houston Astros and the success that they're having, and you're 33 years old, I imagine you're somebody who has a lot of options in the coming years as far as where you want to go. What attracted you to this specific organization?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, I think first and foremost, like I said, the investment in the team from ownership, from the historical payrolls to the staff to the facilities, there's really a lot of support there, and it doesn't happen across all clubs, and I think that sets us up to be in a position where we can fire on all cylinders. So, when you're in a job like this, you don't want to be constrained by certain things, and I feel like the opportunity here is great to work with Farhan, to learn from him, to add anything that I may be bringing from Houston, and it's a beautiful city too, and great fan base, great historical franchise. It really just checks all the boxes. So I'm really excited about it.
And part of the, I guess, due diligence and getting a new job is taking a look at the current assets on the roster. And what do you make of where the Giants are coming in? 107 wins a couple of years ago, a little bit of a regression this year to 81 and 81. Do you like the starting point with which you find yourself?
Yeah, and I think that's something that Farhan and Scott did a great job in terms of building depth throughout the roster. And when you look at teams that don't have depth, they may be able to add big pieces, but when you look at all the playing time that the depth pieces get, it may drag things down a bit. And I think it's a great starting point just with having the depth here, having the versatility, and then also the coaching staff who's able to work with the players to put them in the best position to succeed. Because I think I don't think it can be overlooked that this team won 107 games in one of the toughest divisions in the league a few years ago. So, I think that's what I see when I look at the roster. There's obviously some guys who are developing. I think I saw Duvall was up to 104 miles an hour to end the year, and so there are going to be guys who pop, and that's what I want to focus on, making sure those guys are put in the best position to be able to make those leaps.
Pete Putila is the brand new general manager of the San Francisco Giants, joining us here on Willard and Dibs, 95.7 The Game. Pete, I'm sure, no surprise to you, I'm sure you've done the background on sort of like where the organization is and where the fan base is. Farhan has spoken publicly already numerous times saying expects a lot of activity, a lot of maybe new players this offseason. Yes, they can be involved in anything in terms of finances, and it's a fan base that is clamoring for some big names. So how would you sort of describe the offseason that's about to happen? What kind of an offseason do you expect?
Yeah, you'll be disappointed in the answer, but I'm still digging into all of that with Farhan. But as he said, all of the options are on the table, and I think we want to be smart about it. You know, whether that means free agents, whether that means trades, whether that means other avenues, internal prospects. That's really the name of the game. To make sure we set up the organization the best way possible. So I don't think there's really a sort of a prototype that you want to be looking for, but I think all options are on the table, like Farhan said.
And one of those options involves spending money, which is one thing that Farhan said that they're going to look to do this offseason. Are you excited and eager to maybe get that checkbook and go out there and maybe be able to write some of these big checks for some of the free agents that will be out there?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think when you look across the league, there are sort of different tiers of clubs, and there are clubs who may be able to develop some players internally, but they're not really able to add to it. Then there are the clubs who do both, and I think that's how you get up into that upper tier. But you have to be responsible about it so that you're not stuck with contracts that may be weighing down the team and whatnot, and limit flexibility and everything. So I think there's just a lot of work done that needs to be done in order to understand what is the best fit.
Pete, you sound like a humble guy, but I'm going to ask you to flex here for a second, just a little bit, because you've been given the credit for a player development system that obviously really worked well in Houston, and the Giants are at a spot as their farm system has gotten better in recent years, but they really wanted to take the next step. What words can you put to this player development system that you worked on that's done so well?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I think, in baseball, you tend to have singular individuals who are get credit for certain things. I think, it takes a village, as we say, and there are a lot of people involved in the system that we had in Houston. But I think it all comes down to basically figuring out what are the parts of a player's game that can be developed, and then trying to figure out systems to give players feedback on those things, and put people in place and processes in place to support the development of certain items. But there's also an alignment with player acquisition in terms of international signings and the amateur draft. We want to be focused on acquiring players who we think are in a position that we can help them, and may have certain traits that are a little tougher to develop, but then the other traits we feel that the system can help those guys. So I think you have to have alignment between draft and international and player development in order to be the most successful player development department.
Pete, this may be a bit of an odd question, but how did you do it to go from a college student as an intern to work your way up through an organization to now be in a position where you're the general manager of the Giants? What was the journey like, and what were some of the attributes you had and some of the different things that you decided you were going to take on to help you make this unbelievable rise?
I appreciate the kind words. I think it all comes down to a lot of it just talking to coworkers. There are a lot of very smart people in the game in different areas, whether it's someone like Dusty Baker or a new sports scientist or analyst, and trying to understand just all facets of the game. And I think having a curiosity about those things and being able to connect with people and including the players, and trying to understand how that impacts them. And I think in Houston, I had the opportunity to be around a lot of different people, and we had a very collaborative atmosphere, and everybody was focused on the same goal, and that was winning the World Series. And that was something that was evident here in the interview process. Everybody's very humble here, and wants to do the right thing, wants to improve, and that's a recipe for success. So very excited about that.
Pete, we know we're at a time here in October where you're not allowed to say any names, so we'll just say them for you. So Aaron Judge, Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, we'll have you back on as soon as you guys are ready to announce those three, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, right.
Perfect. So we'll slate you in for early December then. Wonderful. A hot stove show with Pete Putila.
Pete, welcome to town and congratulations. We look forward to seeing you over at the ballpark soon.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, there he goes.
Look forward to the spending.
Pete Putila.
The spending spree, the shopping spree for Pete Putila.
Yeah, Aaron Judge, or you're never allowed on here again.
I mean, that's got to be a fun situation to walk into a job and your boss says, here's our budget. Here's $100 million.
Exactly.
Go play. Go
or
have
more.
some fun.
Or more if it
You know
makes
what I mean?
sense.
Yeah.
No joke.
Go get some players, kid.
I mean, how many jobs in America are like that in 2022? We've got an unbelievable budget flexibility all over the place right now.
Show me the money.
Who the hell says that right now?
Speaking of budget, we got bills to pay.
Oh, that's right. All right. We got Picks, we got Steiny, we got Goo, we got Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports.
Dr. Trudy Fleer here with the 5G Home Recovery Podcast. Let's discuss a very real existential threat to internet speed. It's a big one. Ready? T-Mobile Home Internet. It lags. Ugh. Now, what is lag? Lag is a delay in data being transmitted across the internet. For example, you're hitting that hot drop, the parachute cuts out, you've got an unsuspecting bot in your sights, and lag! You were actually eliminated 10 seconds ago. Nobody deserves that. So stop letting T-Mobile Home Internet ruin everything and switch to Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/TMOFax.
Get an amazing value on Xfinity Internet with unlimited data included. Switch for $55 a month for 2 full years with no annual contract required and no equipment fees for 24 months. Go to xfinity.com/TMOFax, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 10/17/22. Restrictions apply. New fast internet and Xfi Complete customers only. Xfi Gateway required. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
At Harris Ranch, we do beef, just like we've done for over 50 years. Beef that's raised locally right here in California. Tender steaks, awesome burgers, and California classics like tri-tip roast. The flavor you crave, the quality you trust time after delicious time. Come on, it's time to get out and grill. Harris Ranch, we do beef. Legendary beef, legendary quality.
Hi, this is George with Left Coast Buyers. We buy properties all over California. If you own a house or an apartment building and want to sell it fast at a great price, call us at 925-434-5000. We can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. We buy properties in any condition, any price range, and can help you in any situation. Do you own a property that is run down and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Are you out of time, money, and energy? Let us help. Are you looking for an easy way to get top dollar for your property and sell on your terms and timeline? Well, call Left Coast Buyers now at 925-434-5000. We can solve any problem. We buy divorce houses, inherited houses. We even buy vacant houses and abandoned houses. Do you have a tenant who hasn't paid rent? Are you behind on property taxes, mortgage payments, or even facing a foreclosure? Even if you're just nervous about capital gains or an upcoming recession, we've seen it all. So if you or someone you know owns a property and needs to sell, call Left Coast Buyers at 925-434-5000. That's 925-434-5000.
Is there a calculator that can't compute in your kitchen drawer?
Recycle it at Staples. A shredder that won't shred under your bed? Or a collection of cables cluttering up your closet? Recycle them now at Staples. With Staples Free Tech Take-Back, we'll recycle your old tech free. Plus, rewards members get $5 back in rewards. So if you have modems, mice, and mobile phones making a mess of your home, recycle them now at Staples. Limit 1 reward per month. Redeemable in-store only. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP to us. That's why MVP's rewards members can earn bonus points on select products from brands like DeWalt, Purdy paint applicators, and GRK screws. Then redeem your bonus points for exciting rewards like tools, grills, Lowe's gift cards, and more. Join Lowe's MVP's Pro Rewards today to start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms. While supplies last. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details. Now through 10/28.
Some sunshine today and a high of 61 in San Francisco.
Weather brought to you by One Thing. Improve your gas mileage by properly inflating tires and taking your car in for a tune-up. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Okay, a reminder here before Steiny and Goo get on in here that Monday is going to be a very special show. Not only will we be reacting to everything that happened with the 49ers and the Falcons, but we will be live at Chase Center to get you ready for the Warriors' regular season opener at home against the Lakers the very next night on Tuesday. Not only will we have interviews with players and coaches, but potentially more important for you, we got swag.
Big time swag.
We got some serious swag now, okay?
Not like some koozie or some bumper sticker.
We got like an autographed Steph Curry jersey. And we've got an autographed Klay Thompson jersey.
And autographed by those people.
Right,
too.
no, not autographed by us. No. That would
I've
ruin
autographed a Steph Curry jersey.
We found this jersey at the team store and we wrote on it, and we're going to give it to you. Yeah, no, that's not what we're doing.
That's not
what we're doing. So Steph Curry autographed a jersey, we're going to give it away.
Oh, okay.
Klay Thompson autographed a jersey, we're going to give it away.
That's so cool.
So imagine dignitaries, and I don't want to name names because nothing is confirmed, but players and coaches, because Stein and Goo will be out there too. They might be a little bit more on the player end. We might be a little bit more on the coach and exec end because of the timing of practice. But from 9 to 3, 95.7 The Game will be on the scene, giving away amazing swag and getting you ready for the start of the season and reacting to the 49ers, prayers up, victory over the Atlanta Falcons this weekend.
I like their chances at getting the win, and I know with the 5.5 point spread, the implied odds, the money line odds, minus 230, I think you said, or 235. So
yeah,
Niners pretty heavy favorites to just win the game. When you play to win the game, as we both know.
That's why you play.
Covering the spread might be a little tougher. I'll reveal my thoughts on that as we get closer to the game.
The classic home dog is what we do. It's
a home dog. No doubt it's a home dog, but it's also Jimmy G. One more week in the fold, 1 week further away from rust. Kittle, healthy and back. Brandon Ayuk, interested?
Ready. Always ready. Yeah.
Involved?
Nick Bosa, we'll see. Robbie Gould will kick. Yeah, Kyle, what do you got?
Also, Jimmy G last week, quietly very good under pressure and very good without play action, like two things he usually stinks at. Are we seeing a new Jimmy G, guys?
Oh, here we go. Week to week, Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Tevin Coleman, the return of Tevin.
You were for sure getting the get this guy off my team text this week.
Oh, man.
That's happening.
Sure. Yeah, I'm turning my phone off
noon,
before this game.
Is DeMonte KZ still in Atlanta?
I mean,
throw an interception right at him.
Here's the thing, though. Here's what I'll give Jimmy. This year. I will give Jimmy this. If you follow the arc of what Jimmy has said the whole year, you get something that is very plausible, believable, and sensible. So, it's first, I'm back on the team. right? You get thrown into duty against Seattle. Yeah, it was fun. Like, these plays weren't for me, and so I just went out there and was slinging it. Okay, then Denver happens, and we're all like, oh, for the love of who the hell, what's going on over here? You're running out the back of the damn end zone? And Jimmy said, look, we are totally out of sync. I had no camp. And a lot of us went, well, wait a minute, dude. You've been the quarterback for 5 years. But there were also a lot of football people that were like, right, but even if you've been the quarterback for 20 years, you need camp.
But he went from it's like riding a bike to I'm rusty.
He did. And that was a hole in his theory. But if you watch what's happened since then, yes or no, do they look more in sync and more effective each week as he gets more practice time?
Also, George Kittle being back is a big deal.
Right.
And Tevin Coleman running the ball looked great. But yes, more practice time for Jimmy G, and he looks more in sync. He played really well last game. Offensive line issues persist. We'll see what that means in the second game of this 2-game road trip. And, by the way, I think the only 10 a.m. start, so it's 1 o'clock local for them, but 10 o'clock out here.
10 o'clock. Oh, the only one of the year, you mean?
I thought so.
You might be right.
I can Google it.
You might be right. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't have that one in front of me, but you might be right. And we're going to do picks, the top 5 games of the week here in just a second. But I also want to add this.
Yeah, confirmed.
I don't want to do the whole their offense has been fine, but they haven't played anybody good. Hold on now. Hold on. First of all, I'm not ready to say the Rams are not a good football team that won the Super Bowl earlier this year. That's number one. But number two, remember the offense is only playing the other team's defense. That's all they're doing. So while you can call Denver crappy, I'm hearing you, but you can't call their defense bad. That is a good defense. The Rams defense is a solid defense, and even the Panthers defense is not a bad defense. So this idea that they've been working their way through some sort of a soft part of the schedule, the softest defense they've played, Seattle Seahawks. And that was a traumatic game because you had a quarterback switch you didn't know was coming. And, oh, by the way, they played well. They put up 27 points in that game. So I'm going to give them the nod for that. They do. They look better each week, but they're going to need to play well in this one. I still think the 49er defense is fine, but the 49er defense is not the 49er defense that we've known through the first 5 games.
Yeah.
They are missing Emmanuel Mosley. They might be missing Nick Bosa. Bottom line, this is a different group. I still think they can be effective, but it would be comforting if the 49er offense could score 3 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns may not be enough, and you may need 3 touchdowns and a field goal, as I mentioned yesterday.
Oh, yeah, you can have some field goals,
I think
too.
doing 24 might be the number.
Yeah.
If Robbie Gould is good to go to kick, then a field goal is definitely a part of the proposition in terms of what they can get. And Atlanta's offense is better than I think that they get credit for.
Better than Carolina.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And better offense than Denver, I would say, considering what Russell Wilson has become. So this is an offense that it's not the worst that they've faced. Now, their offense probably isn't as good as Seattle, but Seattle's offense against the Niners that week was their worst game offensively, partly because the Niner D was so good.
By far. All right, Steiny and Goose shortly, but right now, let's dive into the picks. Kyle Madsen, get on in here and take us through the top 5 games of the week. With the scoring update at the top of the board is that Dibs is still our leader, but now by 3 games because you had a loss last night, I had a win.
Choke
So
artists.
I'm back to 500. You are 3 games ahead of me, Kyle and Spadone, who knows where the hell you are.
Wow.
You're somewhere back there. It's kind of like when you drive somewhere together and then you lose the people in your rearview mirror. I'm like, I don't know where they went, but I just hope they'll catch up.
They're both sitting in the 3rd row.
Yeah.
Kyle's actually in the trunk. It goes you and I in the front seat, 2nd row empty. Spadone in the 3rd with his various children. Kyle's in the trunk.
I'm trying a new strategy this week.
Okay.
And I hate it.
So what I did was and it screwed Dan Dibley.
So bad.
Well, I'm here for it then.
So I made my picks last night, let them marinate, woke up this morning, and flipped them all. And when you're 29, 48, and 3,
why not?
You got to do something,
Why the
right?
hell not?
Well, Dibs, would you like to explain what happened?
So I made 2/3 of my picks. I was reffing yesterday. Shout out California High, Cal High in San Ramon, taking on Livermore. I was only able to make 2/3 of the picks. I saved the final third for after the match. So I go to make my picks after the match. Kyle's already made his picks, and so I decide I'm fading Kyle.
Fade the Kyle,
So
yeah.
I go Oppo Kyle for the final 5. Come to find out, he switches those 5.
Oof.
So now Kyle and I, we share a birthday, and we also share 5 picks.
There it is.
Good
Your
pick.
teammates.
Thank you.
Your teammates. I'm excited
Sorry
about
for the
this.
update.
That was good for me.
We
It's
have
good for me.
like 3 games different this week.
All right, so let's hear it.
All right.
What are the top 5 games? Let's give some picks.
We've got Minnesota -3.5 at Miami. Miami, the home dog.
Okay, I love the home dog in this one. I really believe this number is based on third-string quarterback, but Miami moved the ball against the Jets just fine with Skylar Thompson. I do not like Minnesota on the road outdoors right here. They've been low-key not great. Give me Miami plus the 3.5.
I'm with you. The 3 in the hook is what swings it for me. 3 points is the most frequent differential in NFL history. I could see Miami losing by 3. I'm happy to have the hook in my pocket.
Spadoni and I both on Minnesota -3.5. That's great news for you guys. Arizona -2.5 at Seattle.
Okay.
Mark your lone wolf on it here.
I don't understand this one, and it scares me because why is Arizona favored? Arizona's been awful. Seattle is a different animal at home that's good. Their offense has been the most underrated in the league. Seattle doesn't cover. They win. They win this game outright.
Well, Mark, you taught me one thing early on in our 12-plus months together. If something looks odd, lean into it.
There's a reason.
And I'm leaning into this, baby. Seattle's not very good. I mean, they've played well. They've put up 50 on Detroit. This Arizona team's better than that. Give me Arizona.
All right, Buffalo -2.5 at KC quickly. Spadoni, lone wolf in it with Buffalo.
I love KC in this. Patrick Mahomes is a home dog. I think hasn't happened in his entire career.
Patrick Mahomes dog.
Yeah. Give me
Not bad.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Chiefs. I think they win this one outright.
Sunday Night Football, Dallas at Philly. Philly favored by 6.5 at home.
Which is way too much, and this is the one I'm leaning into because it's too much. That sounds too much. I'm leaning into it. Give me the Eagles.
Cooper Rush has got to come back down to earth, assuming he starts. I like Philadelphia to stay unbeaten in an easy one. Sorry, Goo.
Spadoni, a lone wolf with Dallas plus 6.5, and the Niners 5.5.
I'll take them just because they're the better team. A healthy fear, but give me the Niners.
24-20 is your final. This smells like a backdoor. 24-13. Give me an Atlanta cheapie to make it 24-20. That's your final. Niners win. Falcons cover.
All right, there it is. Our full spread formation across all social media platforms as we head into the weekend. And we head into Steiny and Goo as well. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the Odyssey app. Goo, it looked like your shoulders tightened up a little bit when we both picked the Eagles there.
No, Dak is ready. It's Dak's team. I don't want him back. A segment of the fans don't want him back. But the Eagles will beat the crap out of Dallas, reverse devil tongue. So then when he does come back because of the money and the contract and the politics, it will come off an L on prime time. And Cooper Rush has been phenomenal taking care of the ball. But I'm taking the Eagles the other way, which means Dallas may win if you look at my record.
No, I dig what you're saying, though. I dig what you're saying from this perspective. 2 weeks ago, I didn't know exactly where Dak was back in terms of his injury, but going into back-to-back games against the Rams and Eagles, I'm like, oh, this is a bad time to bring Dak back because Cooper went out and beat a bunch of cream puffs.
Right.
And then, but if you bring Dak back against the good teams and he loses,
I see you
you've got a full-blown quarterback controversy. Well, then Cooper went out and beat the Rams, too, even though he didn't have to do a damn thing to do it.
19 pass attempt.
I'm with you, man. I think there's politics here. Dak's ready, but they're not going to play him because they don't want to go lose this game and have that be his first game back.
You don't get off a winning horse, and the guy's undefeated since he started. So you got to ride with Cooper Rush until he loses.
We're family, right?
Damn right.
All right, I wasn't here yesterday, and I just want to take this time on the changeover.
Comes back for payday.
Honestly, to give some love to my partner and our teammate. But this is my brother, Matt Steinmetz, and let me tell you why. So, I'm still hooping at 50, and I'm brave, and John Wayne, and all my buddies telling me it's happening. It's going to come.
Yep.
But yesterday, I had to get checked under the hood. I'm 50, and I hadn't been to the doctor in 5 years. And Shannon Sharp, true story, a couple Sundays ago, said he was dealing with prostate cancer. And I'm looking at him, and I don't know why that hit me with the muscles. And you know how science and all this works. It doesn't matter who you are. You could deal with something. Matt, Mark, and Dan, I have been petrified for 2.5 weeks. My wife didn't even know this. I get a headache. Oh, my God, I got this. I got that. I'm on WebMD. So I went and got my PSA, colonoscopy, and everything. All my numbers checked out. So I'm on a new high.
Yes.
Okay? They're not perfect. I'm on a new high. But this man checked on me. I would come in here, you guys would know it. I'm like, Stein, he's like, "Dude, what do you think?" I'm like, "I don't know, I'm just scared, man." And there's this stigma with black men as they get older, they don't go to the doctor. And I'm like, dude, you got kids, you got a family. If something's going on, you need to know. But Matt, I'm gonna call you Steiny. You were A1, checked on me at the crib. You did too, but anybody that would talk, I'd be like, "There, how you doing?" But even Ray Rattle got a little of it. But I'm feeling good. I'm back and I'm ready to go, man. But Steiny, you were awesome.
Thank
so
you.
for the
I didn't
people
really
out
do
there
much
that are afraid,
editing.
men and women, go get checked, man. Just go get your checkup.
Amen.
So
Amen.
here's the pull the curtain back. I'm in the green room a week or two ago. Ray Ratto's in there 5 hours early. I don't know why, but he always is.
Been in there since 7.
And here comes Goo, and I know we've been talking about it for a day or two, and he's worried, and he's honey, I'm worried about the test and this, and I don't know what to do, and I'm like, giving him the look. Worry is a down payment on an investment you'll never make. I'm giving him all the good things, and Guru goes, Ray, what do you think? Should I do it? And Ray gives him one of these, turns around and goes, "You have a family, you have no choice. That's what you signed up for."
That sealed it for me.
He goes, "You have a family, you have to go to the doctor. Now go."
He's all mad about
I know
it
it's
too. I love
TMI,
it.
but I'm feeling good. I even gave the boss. He's like, "What you worried about?" I'm like, "Dude, everything." But I'll say this. When I left the doctor's office yesterday, I swear, not knowing what was up with my numbers, I'll never drink another Red Bull and chips. As soon as I got the stamp of approval, give me 2 of them. Give me the 6-pack, the big one. But anyway, I'm feeling good. I'm back. I'm ready, man. We got a lot to get to.
Glad to have you back.
I love it.
Get your checkup.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it. I got my physical, but I'm doing it the week after Thanksgiving.
Well,
let's go ahead and get some gravy. Pour a little extra gravy on
Nice.
it. And go see the doc the next week after that.
You're down on Draymond,
man.
So it's not down on Draymond in any sort of a general sense. I did not like what he said yesterday, but I'm want to be very careful to again state it this way. It doesn't matter what I think of Draymond Green. What bothered me about yesterday is it sounded to me like he was thumbing his noses at what his teammates think. And that is a problem as a Warrior fan or just a human being. Like, that's Steph Curry you're talking about right now, okay? Steph Curry came out and talked about trust, and that is the most beloved athlete in the history of this city. And when the follow-up comes to you and says, so what do you think about this trust that Steph Curry and Steve Kerr and Kevon Looney are talking about, and you thumb your nose at it, that's when I go, we got a problem. Now we got a problem. Because you're talking, and it's not about you punch someone. This is about going forward. You are not listening to your teammates. I don't care if you listen to us. Who the hell are we? But you're not listening to Steph Curry.
You're being tone deaf.
You're not listening to Steph Curry, and I don't see how that doesn't become a problem at some point for the Warriors.
I'm kind of with you. This is 3,000 miles away, but I saw this quote from Ben Simmons. Somebody asked him about he and Joel Embiid. I don't talk to Joel, never really spoke. We didn't have any relationship. But why do you think the Sixers didn't really ever reach their level that they should have? This is what can happen. And, they just have to be careful.
Well, and what a dripping irony to me that on one answer, what does trust mean? I don't even know what anyone's talking about. And then the very next sentence, this is about camaraderie and togetherness.
Oh, man.
Well, you don't sound like you have any, number one. And number two, if there's anyone on this team that should not be bringing up the words, it's the person who put those things into doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this. It's not that for me.
That was a bad look.
If you're his teammate and you hear him say that, you're like, trust. I mean, what are you talking about? Trust. And then for him to say it's all about camaraderie and being together and this and that, you're thinking, hit the pike, bud. The reason why there's no camaraderie is because of what you did. And I mentioned this earlier where Draymond gets in his face, which is a 3 on the irritability scale.
Right.
Jordan pushes him, which is a 5, and then you answer with an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10. Yeah, exactly, right?
11.
You, Shasky, I heard you guys in the morning. You guys were phenomenal, but Dibs, and I told Sally this last time I was in the people. I got to move past it because the team's moving past it. I know it was wrong. Stephen A. Smith today alluded to Jordan Poole's family. This ain't a shocker. His parents really being upset. Shocker. But to hear it, I'm like, man. And he still was able to come back. I'm like, just me. My last thing I'm throwing at the Draymond poster board is, it ain't about how you're moving on. To me,
thank you.
It's about how Jordan's moving on, and we have no idea.
Else.
But Dibs, you said something was so profound to me. Nobody's asked Draymond why he threw that punch.
That's the one question.
Like Mark, nobody's asked like
Good
that.
point.
How would he? Why did you ball it up? Why was there so much vengeance?
It's
and
a
I would
simple
love to
question.
hear him answer
Well,
that.
and the perfect time to do it was when he was complaining last weekend about how there was no audio on the tape. Okay, Draymond, then
Dibs,
tell
why
us-
did you hit him like that?
Tell us what happened then.
What made you go there?
It's
we had
the
a caller
simplest
earlier,
question.
Chef Jeff
Napa.
from Napa,
Yeah.
who brought up the Jawan Howard incident. Remember when Jawan Howard punches the Wisconsin coach? And
But that wasn't this.
Draymond said on his podcast, though, and I read the quote to Mark during the break.
This is really good.
Basically, I'm glad Jawan didn't apologize because the coach grabbed his arm. How come no one's talking about how he grabbed his arm? And then Draymond goes on to say in his podcast, I'm glad Jawan didn't apologize. And then now
So there you go, Steiny.
So there you go.
That's
Listen,
what we saw yesterday at the podium.
Defiant and unapologetic. Color me not shocked.
Yeah.
So we already knew all that. That's the baseline. That's Draymond. So I'm fine there. But call me naive next. I thought maybe you weren't that to Steph Curry.
Okay.
You can be unapologetic to us. You can be unapologetic to an opponent. I sat here for the last 10 years thinking you weren't defiant towards Steph.
That's big, Steiny.
And that's what yesterday
deep.
sounded like.
Man.
I told Dibs this. When he goes, what is trust? What is trust? I'm like, hey, Socrates, make a layup, all right? And then you won't have to worry about it. Hey, let me tell you what trust is. Trust is your teammates not having to worry that you may punch him in the face.
Right.
Oh, that's overblown. Is it? Well, it's not overblown now. That's the trust. Like that did rub me the wrong way a little bit.
And that's why when his teammates say he's got to work to earn our trust back,
That doesn't help.
But that's what they're talking about. They're not saying we need to trust him to be able to run the 3-on-2 fast break or to be able to defend the other team's best player. That trust is not broken. The trust that is broken is what Steiny's saying of, what kind of mood is Draymond in today? Do I need to keep my head on a swivel? Do I need to wear boxing headgear to practice today?
Because he was tired. He was you could tell he was kind of tired of it all. Like, we're here to win a chance. What do I dare say? The real Dre was coming back. Like, he was kind of over it.
That's the way it
He's
seemed.
like, I did my apology press conference. Back
Let's
to normal.
move on.
He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even heard from Jordan yet. And again, I wouldn't feel this way if that blended with anything that anyone else was saying. But if you got a line of warriors over here going, you need to earn trust. This is the worst thing that's happened to us since we've been here. We're going to figure it out. We're going to find a way to move on. We got to figure that. We got to do this. We got to do that. And then Draymond shows up and goes, what's the big deal?
Wow.
I think to me,
tonight's fascinating
to me, trust
again.
is that he's got to in some way prove, and he can only do it by actions, to every player that he's all in, that all he's going to try to do this season is help the Golden State Warriors. Nothing else. That's got to be his number one focus, because there have been too many times in the past where you say, Draymond's thinking of himself a little more than maybe the team with this. That's the thing that's going to take time, I think. Good first month of the season. You know what, Draymond? Because here's the one thing. I do believe, I heard you say this, and we could go back and forth a million times. Like, Draymond will never learn. I don't think you said it, but Draymond, he'll never learn. Let's say anybody says that. Something may happen. People are capable of changing who maybe you never thought can change. And people can try to change, and they don't have to announce it to everyone. So what I'm saying is, he's got to make it clear to everybody around him that he's actually working on this stuff in some way, and it's getting results. talking about his anger. I'm talking about his
but if he doesn't think he did wrong, Steiny, a person, he may look at this, and now that you gave me that Jawan info, he doesn't probably think he did wrong.
There you go.
And I love the callers. Fillmore, Mike, Priest. I'm disappointed in this sense from their calls, and they're not the only two people that have said this. When we talked this whole Draymond spectacle, everything that went down, the tape shouldn't have been released. I'm not Mr. Tune Out. I'm out. Because that to me is, you're cheating this whole process. When you go, the tape shouldn't have came out, I'm Mr. Tune Out. Like, you're cheating this. You're cheating Jordan Poole. That ain't what this is about. And we've had callers say it shouldn't have got out. Rick Barry, I heard him on... Man, that ain't what this is about.
But there are two different things here, because the tape shouldn't have gotten out.
That I agree with.
But the tape getting out does not diminish the impact of the punch that was thrown. And some people are trying to conflate.
Supersede is the word. Okay.
I like conflate a little better.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Conflate when you have two different things. They're trying to combine
that
the two.
That is so wrong to me to Jordan Poole.
I hear what you're saying, because it is two totally
that's all
for the Warriors as a corporation. It's like, figure out your leak thing over here. But if the players are going to come out and blame it on that, it makes it sound like you don't want us to know reality. Right? Wizard of Oz. Do not
Ozzie Smith.
Do not look. Do not look over here behind the curtain to see what's actually happening.
No doubt.
And that's not going to be. That's a very tough.
I heard you again, Shasky and Bonte. You guys talked about it. I think there's going to be some boo. I don't want boos. I think if this is a barometer, our show, Twitch and YouTube, there may be some.
Yeah, I think the one benefit of ring night is that those tickets are so expensive, and usually people who have a lot of money aren't those kind of fans. And maybe I'm just being, rich people don't boo. Rich people don't wear the T-shirts that they get.
They won't even be in their seats yet when these things are being delivered.
Thank you.
It's going to be halfway through the first quarter. The Warriors will already be up by 5.
I would say whether it's tonight or ring night, he won't hear thunderous boos.
Oh, no.
He may hear a smattering.
I like a smattering.
He may hear a dull din in the background.
I like a dull din.
Or just
a cacophony.
A not as loud cheer.
And it'll be Calipari, one and done.
Right.
Like, I think when they get it and let it out,
that's another
they'll go back to regular. You won't hear it again.
JD tried to play the role yesterday. He did a great job.
I heard Snotty wore a black shirt. The streets are talking. He says he never wears black.
Dress shirt. It was a dress shirt.
People told me it was a regular kind of shirt.
It was a long sleeve dress shirt, T-shirt, that you put under like a sport coat.
You guys go in the cafeteria today? It's payday.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. My numbers are good, so I'm gonna just point at myself.
Have a donut.
Yeah, give me some
I'm a little light today.
I got you.
By the way.
I'm just saying.
I can tell Willard's got those Roadrunner wheels going.
Let's get out of here.
I do have an issue.
No, go ahead. I'm not going.
And it's all three, you guys.
Here we go.
Maybe I am leaving.
This betting, this guessing, okay? It's influencing every take you guys have.
Now that hurts.
I mean,
hold on now.
I mean,
what are you talking about? Put a name on it.
A coach makes a decision, and Guru needs Shanahan fired. You know, your lust for Carlos Rodon because he's won a couple unders for you. It's extreme.
That hurts. I had the Chiefs 30 in the hook mark.
Yeah.
They decided to go for 2. That's the fan in me. He thought the ira was from, I didn't get my win.
You lost
but I know how to compartmentize.
No,
it's never about betting.
Yeah.
It's the fan in me.
How much money
Dibs?
Rodon win for you this year?
Now look at Rodon.
A lot of strikes.
Got a file on all of us.
Come down my road. Rodon.
Yeah.
Enough.
No wonder you wanted to pick up that option that he should never pick up.
So we're gonna look at Rodon stats and tell me
you better
that he
keep
wasn't
him here.
good.
Oh, you better keep him here.
He's not gonna stay here.
I hate hearing that.
Yeah. I mean, there's mutual interest, Goo.
Okay.
Mutual interest.
We should have hit Putila with that when we had him on.
Yeah.
You gonna sign Rodon, Putila? Come on.
Putila sounded like he was in an empty office.
Dude, he's a young dude.
He ain't even put any pictures on the wall yet. I don't even know if he has any pictures yet. So, anyway, all right, Steiny and Goo. Here we go.